Boom, 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 boom. And we are live for this Saturday night football game. Santonio Holmes is coming out for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, obviously not playing, but hyping up the crowd. Let me get my uh, Diet Mountain Dew ready. That is what is in this cup. And Boswell about to kick this one away. Obviously, the Cincinnati Bengals desperately need to win this one just to keep their playoff hopes alive. They have to hope that the Dolphins lose to the Jets tomorrow, and also the Broncos lose to the Chiefs. Steelers are already in the playoffs, but they can get the fifth seed if they win and somehow the Chargers lose. After that return up to about the 28-yard line, I would say. First down 10 for Cincinnati from the 28, 14:55 remaining in the first quarter. Ooh, there we go. All right. First down 10. Joe Burrow in the pistol. Going to be a handoff. He's going to try the left side and gets absolutely nothing. And that is going to be second down and 10 for the Bengals. Herbert with the carry. Yeah, they're showing it right now, of course. Chase Brown is inactive, so it's going to be Herbert mainly. So it's going to be interesting to see how he's going to be able to play. Obviously, Chase Brown gives him a lot more speed at that running back position. So it's going to definitely be a Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase kind of night, and T. Higgins. Going to be empty 7 the second down and 10 from the 37-yard line. Going to bring Herbert back in, tail block. Draws back a pass and quickly throws out, and that's going to be caught by Gesicki, who is going to get the first down all the way up to about the 39-yard line. First down and 10 for the Cincinnati Bengals. Nice comeback route. Dante Jackson is out. Joey Porter Jr. is in. Well, is active, sorry. First down, 10 from the 39-yard line. Shotgun formation for Joe Burrow. Going to send Yoshi Voss in motion over to the right. 13:36 remaining in the first quarter. Drops back a pass. Throws to his right, and is going to be, wow, great catch by T. Higgins. And that's going to be a second and inches for the Cincinnati Bengals. Joey Porter on the coverage. Like I say, really great catch by T. Higgins. Make sure he maintains possession. And it doesn't move when it touches the ground, so he's good. So second and 1. Joe Burrow in a shotgun formation with Herbert to his right. Drops back to pass and throws. And it's going to be caught by Gesicki up to the 40, down to about the 36-yard line. Gesicki with another great gain. That's the first down and 10 for the Cincinnati Bengals. What's up, Zoe? Yeah, so like I said last week, I am streaming the Bengals Steelers game, of course, tonight. And then tomorrow night, doing the Lions Vikings game for the final regular season game of this season. This amazing season has been so far. And so far, the Bengals have been able to move the ball down the field. First down 10 from the 36-yard line. Joe Burrow in a shotgun formation with Herbert to his right. Chase Brown is out. So it'd be a little bit more. It's going to be a little bit more difficult for the Bengals. It's going to be handoff to Herbert, who's going to kind of stumble his way up to about the 31-yard line. Nice gain of about 5 yards. Second down 5, 12:06 remaining in the first quarter. A little bit of a mouthful there. All right, second down 5 from the 30. What was it? 34? No, 31-yard line. Sorry about that. Shotgun formation. Going to send Yoshivasa into motion. Going to be a handoff to Khalil Herbert, who is going to get about 4, about 3.5. So it'll be a third down and a long one. 11:25 left to go in the first quarter. Third down and third down and a long one for the Cincinnati Bengals team. Joe Burrow in a shotgun formation. Going to move Jamar Chase out. Now it's going to be an empty set. Drops back to pass. Quickly throws out to Jamar Chase, who's going to pick up the first down, gain of about 7 yards there. First down 10 for the Bengals. 10:55 to go in the first. Zoe, how confident do you feel in the Broncos tomorrow? Vikings versus Lions should be amazing. Look forward to it. I'm happy for it too. Like the fact that that's got flexed out, I think that's a great decision, and it's going to be for the first time that two teams this late in the season, 14 win teams, going against each other. That's pretty amazing. First down tip from the 19-yard line. Shotgun formation from Joe Burrow. Drops back to pass. And another quick throw out to Jamar Chase and gains about 7 yards there. Second down 3. So far the Steelers are playing like very very far off of this Bengals team. So they're just doing some quick passes, getting it out pretty quickly. And now second down 3 deep into Steelers territory. Under 10 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Second down 3 from the shotgun formation from the 12-yard line. Joe Burrow drops back to pass. Quickly throws, and that's a touchdown to Jamar Chase. 9:49 let's go the first quarter, and that's 6-0 Cincinnati. Oh, it's Corey Trice. Oh, man. Corey Trice Jr. is a rookie from Purdue that I fell in love with later on, and he just got absolutely just cooked. I don't know if he thought he had safety help, but absolutely cooked. All right, Cade York to kick this extra point. All right, kick is up and kick is good right down the middle. So it is 7-0, 9:49 to go in the first quarter. Go into commercial break. I really like obviously like I picked the Bengals to win, mainly because I still want them to have a shot at making the playoffs. The only thing is I technically picked the Jets to beat the Dolphins, mainly because I just want the Bengals in. Obviously, Zoe, if you win against the Chiefs, the Broncos are in. It's good on you. Obviously, you haven't, like I said, you haven't been to the Super Bowl, so that'd be nice. But like, I don't know, something about that Bengals offense just makes you feel like they can win any game. And I think the Broncos are in a good enough spot. If you make the playoffs, that's good. That's a really good motivation for your team. Of like, hey, we're almost there. Get us some more players, and we'll be able to make a run. But I don't know how. I don't know if this Broncos team could beat the Bills. Mainly because I don't know how Bo Nix is going to do against a really really good Bills defense. I think he can do. I think he can do well, but he's not going. I don't think he's going to be able to do enough to win that game. So you just kind of like worsen your draft pick. But ultimately, I also think you're going like offensive weapon, which I think they're going to be falling. Not because they're not good; they're good, but like there is so much defensive talent in this draft class, and you're pretty good. Like I said, on the defensive side of the ball, you might want to do like some more depth, but your defense is really good. Obviously, you're hoping Riley Moss has a bounce back game after that T Higgins. That was surprising. I didn't know he was going to get absolutely bodied by T Higgins. Um, but if he comes back, obviously his first game back. If he comes back pretty good. Your secondary should be good. Of course, your pass rushers are young, relentless. I feel you should feel pretty comfortable with them. Um, Zach Allen having an amazing year. So like I would think more so just like depth along your defensive along your defense, but I really kind of want the Broncos to go Tyler Warren because it would fit the Taysom Hill role, and he's a really good player. He's a really good tight end that can also do everything that Taysom Hill did for Sean Payton. I feel very confident you can underestimate Andy Reid, but we're at home with more to play for exactly. And we've only lost due to a blocked field goal last time. Exactly. Like I said, I think that gives you confidence because like you really should have won, and it was a really unfortunate that you lost. But I don't know. I don't like. There's a reason why I picked the Chiefs because, well, like I said, I also want the Bengals to be in. But secondly, is because like I could legitimately see it happening because sure sure the Chiefs don't really necessarily have anything to really play for, and you have everything to play for. But time and time again, we've seen that happen where like fans get let down by their teams, with everything to play for, and then just fall flat. I'm hoping that doesn't happen. The last couple of like last game was really good against the Cincinnati Bengals. It was unfortunate that you lost. You were really close, but I don't know. I have a weird feeling that the Broncos are going to lose. I could be wrong, and I will be happy for you, Zoe, if the Broncos make it in. But I am cautious, very cautious. All right, Cincinnati's going to not Cincinnati. Sorry, the Steelers are going to start at the 40-yard line after the kick did not make it to the 25-yard line. So first down 10 for the 40. 9:49 let's go the first quarter. Still 7-0, of course. And Cincinnati, not Cincinnati, the Steelers get their first crack at it. Why are we taking so long? All right, here we go. Shotgun formation for Russell Wilson with Najee Harris to his right. Not going to move him outside. Motion him back in to the left. And going to be handed to Najee Harris, who is going to get about 4 yards there. Oh, well, actually, they're going to mark him 3 yards. So it'll be second down 7. Yeah, like I said, Steelers are on a 3-game lose streak. So they're coming into the playoffs a little shaky. They need to win this game mainly because same as like way with the Broncos that you need like a little good turn like at the end of the season, just kind of like kind of end on a high note before you go to the playoffs. Well, if you don't win for the Broncos, you're not making the playoffs. But quick toss out to George Pickens, and is that a flag? No, it's a late push, but they're not going to call a flag. But no gain for George Pickens. Try to do a quick little screen and Osai with a tackle. So it's going to be third down and about 7, depends on where they mark it. Yeah, third down and 7. 8:40 left to go in the first quarter. From the 43, Russell Wilson in shotgun formation with Warren to his right. Drops back to pass. And Russell Wilson is going to get sacked by Trey Henderson at the 34-yard line. And the Bengals get a stop, 3 and out on the first drive. 8:15 left to go in the first quarter. Still 7-0. Bengals are up. And Steelers, I mean, you had the penalty. You had good field position because you're at the 40-yard line and could do nothing with it. And punt is away. And it's going to be returned about the 26-yard line, 30, up to the, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I don't know if he got held into it, but like the returner got absolutely blown up at about the 35-yard line. But when we come back, going to the commercial break, when we come back, Cincinnati will start at their own about 34, 35-yard line. 7:47 left to go in the first. How the Broncos do against the Bills, I think, depends largely on whether or not the defense can keep the Bills to less than 35 points. Okay, I can see that. If they can, I think the Broncos have a real chance to win. I think, like, obviously the Bills, they've kind of had an easier path these last 3 weeks. Well, this is going to be the last week. They got Patriots twice, and then they had the Jets. So like they're kind of like cruising in. So the Patriots game actually is what kind of concerned me to where like I was like, okay, they kind of came out flat. So I think that like going on to what you were talking about, if you can hold them below 35 points, but if the Bills also start slow and you get a little momentum, like hey, you're playing really playing with the Bengals with the Bills, I think your defense can be able to show up and hopefully they can get like a turnover or two to kind of turn that tide, set Bo Nix up. Like, all that pressure that's going to be on him as a rookie quarterback. If you set him up with good field position, kind of give up his confidence, and he scores a touchdown against the Bills, I think that then yeah, you have a pretty good chance. But I want to believe in the Bills, I really do. But it's just every single time in the playoffs they find a way to disappoint. And I know that that is usually for like a lot of teams. I mean, outside of the Chiefs, but it's always something just strange. It's either wide right, it's 13 seconds, it's something like that. Of like, obviously, I think they can win the wild card. Depending on who they face in the divisional, they could probably beat them. But I I really want it to be Lions Bills, but I really don't think it's going to be the Bills. Unfortunately, I could be wrong, and I will be celebrating for them making the Super Bowl, but it's going to be really rough. I'm not saying they'll be easy, but still, oh no, absolutely, absolutely, it would be nice. It would be nice. No team has ever had NFL leader in passing yards, receptions, receiving yards, and sacks on the same exact team. Well, yeah, he did also. Yeah, Chase Henderson did have that last sack, so now he's in the leagues. I think he was tied. I think he was tied with uh, Miles Garrett. Our first down 10 from the 33-yard line. Shotgun formation for Joe Burrow with Herbert to his right. Draws back to pass. Quickly throws out again to, is that Hudson? No, it is not. I don't know who the 85 is. But a nice game by 9 yards there, and it's going to be second down and 1 for the Bengals. I also like the Bills, so if the Broncos lose to them, I can live with that. Exactly. Like I said, I think most people like the Bills generally. Like the Bills, the Lions are pretty likable teams, and I mean kind of the Ravens, but some people just like obviously if you're AFC North, you're not going to like the Ravens. Let me hand off to Herbert, who is going to be tackled for a loss by Trice. So it's about a 1 yard loss. Will be third down at 2, 7:04 left to go in the first quarter. Let's see here. Corey Trice has boundary there. He closes in really nice and very, very nice secure tackle. He even like wraps around the leg like with his legs. Because I'm pretty sure Corey Trice had a wrestling background. That's another reason why I liked him. And I was very much like, yeah. Third down two. Joe Burrow draws back a pass and throws quickly, and that's going to be a first down to Mike Gesicki all the way up to about the 46-yard line. I mean, the Bengals are just like dinking and dunking their way down the field right now. 6:20 left to go in the first quarter. Okay, I think, yeah, you already said that. Okay. All right, under six, first down on 10. Joe Burrow in a shotgun formation with Herbert to his right. Go, fake pitch. He's going to basically check it down. He's going to catch it, and it's going to get up to about the 42-yard line, and that is T. Higgins with his second catch of the day. 5:40 left to go in the first quarter. Like I said, I don't necessarily hate it, but they're playing like way, 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 way too far off of him. Like I don't know why they're doing that. But anyways, first down 10 from the 43-yard line. Joe Burrow in a shotgun formation with Herbert to his right. Again, the Steelers are playing way far off of him. Going to be hands to Herbert, who's going to get up to about the 35-yard line. Nice gain about 8 yards. And second down and 2 for the Bengals. Like I said, they're showing the T. Higgins game against, basically against Riley Moss. I mean, he was absolutely dogging them. Um, that ended up beating the Broncos. I was watching that when I was at a restaurant. I went on vacation, had a really good time, and that was an amazing game to watch. Gonna be a check down to Herbert, and depends on the spot, they're gonna mark him just short. So it'll be third and inches. What's up, Emmanuel? Hey Ryan, who do you think makes the playoffs out of the three AFC teams left? Broncos, Bengals, and Dolphins. Also, what team should I bandwagon for the playoffs? Considering the Falcons ripped my heart out. I'll say after this, if this is well, in the next little break, because the third down, like really short, third and inches. 4 minutes left to go in the first quarter, and then I'll answer your question there, Emmanuel. Shotgun formation. Herbert to the right. Gonna send Gasecki in a motion back out. Looks like they got Corey Trice matchup on Gasecki. It's gonna be handoff, and he gets up to about the 29-yard line. That's a first down for the Cincinnati Bengals. Um, so I mentioned it before when Zoe came in. Like I said, I have a strange suspicion that the Broncos are going to lose to the Chiefs. I don't know why. Like they have everything to play for. They should win, but something makes me feel like they're not going to. And as much as I want the Bengals to make it in, because I want the Bengals to win, I don't think the Dolphins are going to lose to the Jets. So the Dolphins might end up making it in, and it's depending on if Tua is starting or if it's going to be Tyler Huntley. Joe Burrow drops back to pass, is going to check it down once again to Herbert. He's going to get about 5 yards before he gets tackled down by Montravius Adams, our man. Second down and 5. 3 minutes left to go in the first quarter, and this first quarter has been flying by because the Bengals have been absolutely driving down the field, dinking and dunking, but taking up a lot of clock off this out of this first quarter. I mean, heck, they got probably close to 13 minutes right now. And then I'll answer the second half of your question after this play. Second down and 5 from the 25-yard line. T against Cummings in motion. Shotgun formation with Herbert to the right. Going to be a quick screen out to, well, don't know why they made that play, but okay. Lost about 2 yards there. However, there is a flag. That's got to be a legal man downfield. Yeah. And there's starting to be some flurries in Pittsburgh. 2:18 left to go in the first quarter, and the legal man downfield is going to back him up even more. They declined it. Okay, well, then it's going to be third down. All right, so third down and 6. 2:27 left to go in the first quarter. Shotgun formation for Joe Burrow, and Herbert is to the right. From the 26-yard line, he's got to get to the 20. Joe Burrow drops back to pass, is getting pressure, and is going to fumble, and is recovered by Herbert at the 30-yard line. Second half of your question was also what team should have bandwagon. Um, I want to say Lions because like it'd be a great story, so you can still kind of like focus on that. Um, oh, that was just bad. That was bad blitz pickup. The guard came in for some odd reason instead of. Okay, well, no, actually, no. The guard didn't do it bad. It was more so the running back miscommunicated. Anyways, 40-yard field goal attempt, and then I'll keep on with the answering your question, Emmanuel. Kick is up, and kick is gonna be good. So it will be 10-0, 124 left to go in the first quarter. Um, but yeah, like I said, Lions should be the NFC, obviously the NFC bandwagon because out of the other teams, Vikings, they never won it before either. Obviously Sam Darnold, so you can go that direction. Either one of those teams are either going to be the first overall seed, so then they get to host, basically like it runs through them, or the fifth seed, and it's going to be like, okay, now I've got to be the one that takes my destiny, and I got to go on the road, and I got to have this miraculous path to the Super Bowl. So either one of them, whoever loses, that would be, I guess, the best bandwagon to be like, you could be on this emotional journey. Um, because other NFC, like I mean, obviously the Rams they won it a couple years ago. Packers kind of. I mean, they're more like the seventh seed. So how long are they going to be able to last? Eagles. I don't really know if you want to bandwagon that. Not because it's Eagles fan, but because like they won recently too. Well, relatively recently. And then Commanders would be nice to bandwagon, but then again, it's a rookie quarterback, and you have a rookie quarterback, so you don't want to fall in love with Jaden Daniels. And then you look at, oh, I got Michael Pittix, who's still being good, but he's not Jaden Daniels. So I would probably say either the Lions or the Vikings. Go on the AFC. You want to bandwagon them, or was that who you were talking about? Was AFC? No, you just said anyone in general. AFC, obviously Bills. They've never won one before. Um, you could technically go the Chiefs if you just want to be like, you know what, I don't really care what people say. I will, Chiefs three-peat. Uh, you wouldn't have a lot of people rooting in the same way you would, um, except for bandwagon fans. And the other ones, like I said, you could do Ravens for Lamar to finally win, like get that monkey off his back and win a Super Bowl. Um, but the other AFC teams, like I wouldn't hitch on. Maybe Chargers. I mean, Chargers I think are a good story. Obviously, with Jim Harbaugh coming in, that feeling of like finally we're not like just charging it. I want to see how it goes in the playoffs because I'm so not totally sold. I'm sold on them ascending. I'm not sold on them this year right now. But I think you're still, if you're a Chargers fan, you're still happy with what's happened so far because Jim Harbaugh came in. The culture seems a little bit different. It's improving, and you had a really good draft. And I had an A+ grade on that draft because I really like Lab McConkey. I love the Joe Alt pick, and I love like the other depth that you got throughout that draft. So returned, and it's going to get up to about the 25. Oh, actually, the 27-yard line is Warren. So first down 10 for the Steelers. 1:15 left to go in the first quarter. And then I already answered the like I said. I think the Dolphins could possibly get in. I would rather it be Broncos or the Bengals, but unfortunately, we can't get everything we want. The playoffs tend to punish unbalanced teams, so if the Bengals manage to get in, I'm not sure they can beat Buffalo, to be honest. I feel better about the Broncos' chances against the Bills than I do Cincinnati's. I can see that as far as like the defense, like I said, Broncos defense, and you have a solid enough offense. And the Bengals, like I said, they have amazing offense, and defense has been improving over the last little bit. But oh wow, Najee Harris rushes for about 10 yards there, get a first down off the left side. First down 10 for the Steelers. Sorry, talking about two things at once. Finishing up the thing that I was going to say. Uh, I think either one of them are going to give a good run to the Bills, and they need it. They need a shock in the first round to be like, okay, we need to actually take care of business because that Patriots game really concerned me. Obviously, the next game they absolutely blow up the Jets. But still, I don't want the Bills to feel like almost like slogging into the playoffs. A toss out to Najee Harris, and he's going to get absolutely leveled for about a 1-yard loss. And that's going to be Hayward with the tackle. And second down and 11, 25 seconds left to go in the first quarter. The Steelers could just let it run out. Let's see what they do. From the 36-yard line, Russell Wilson under center. Going to be a play action pass and basically dump off and nothing. So 2 seconds remain, and it's third and 11. Why didn't you just let it run out? I can understand you faking, trying to get them to jump off sides, but then like, I mean, hey, if you like being the sixth seed and probably going against the Ravens, that's fine with me. But I thought you at least show up. I mean, it's third and 11. You're about to have your second third now. Shotgun formation for the Steelers. Russell Wilson with Warren to his left. Draws back to pass and throws, and it's going to be. Oh, did he get in? Wow, Mike Williams. That's gonna have to be that's gonna be reviewed. I'm making sure that he actually had a possession of the ball before he came down. Let's see. Okay, feet. Yep. Oh, yep. Oh wait, no, it moved. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Okay, there. No, I'll keep playing it. It does move though. It's the end of the first quarter, so they'll have a wild look at it. But it looked like it moved as he was going down. This one might be overturned. Let's see here. Okay. Definitely Zoe. There's a reason defense will win championships. I kind of want to see Bengals make it since I need another team that fumbled an easy playoff road to take some heat off the Falcons. Yeah. Well, okay. Let's just say that technically, it wasn't the easiest road, and you still lost to teams you kind of should have. So it's not you didn't quite fumble it. It's more so the Buccaneers just came back with a vengeance. Y'all didn't play well, but you still lost to teams that you should have. Let's see. I mean, I might be misremembering something pretty quickly, pretty recently. Let's see here. I mean, okay. So you are. Let's go back to October 27th. You're 5-3. That's not what I wanted. Stop. Go back. Yeah. So you're 5-3. You beat the Cowboys November 3rd, 6-3. Okay. 6-3. Then Falcons Saints. You're at the Saints, which makes a difference. And this is also when there was still not necessarily everyone was hurt. Also, this is technically the first interims game, so there's always that bump because everyone wants to play for the interim coach. So it's not out of the ordinary that you lost to the Saints, and it's a close game. It's a divisional game. You lost 20-17. Okay, there we go. Broncos absolutely obliterating you 38-6. That's a little bit embarrassing. Offense didn't show up, but also the Broncos defense is really stinging good. So it's not too bad. Then you lose to the Chargers. The Chargers are a playoff team. You lost 17-13. You're really close, but you end up losing. You'll lose to the Vikings. You should have lost to the Vikings. The Vikings aren't that good. So they are going to give him the first down. From a 39-yard line, first down 10 under center. Russell Wilson. I know I just completely changed off. I'm coming back to the Falcons. Going to be a handoff to Charlie Warren, who's going to get up to about the 35-yard line. Nice, getting about 4 yards. Second down 6. Then comes the Raiders game where literally you just look like crap. That's when we streamed the last game that Kirk Cousins played for the Falcons. And then that's when you make a switch. So you're not losing to teams that you really like. Oh, we fumbled the bag. No, you lost to teams that are playoff teams, and then you lost to interim head coach. So I don't necessarily. I don't see it more as a fumble as I see as a Bucks resurgence. Second down 6 going to be a toss out to Warren, who is going to get, oh, goodness gracious, gets leveled for about a 1 yard gain. And Jones lucky there that he didn't get his ankle absolutely, decapitated. Decapitated, that's not the right word I'm looking for. Disassembled? No, that's not what I'm looking for either. Anyways, Jones, right tackle for the Steelers, he almost got his ankle rolled up on. So luckily for him, that didn't happen. Third down to 5. From the 34-yard line, Russell Wilson a shotgun formation with Warren to his right, going to send. I'm trying to remember who 19 is. Throws, and it's going to be incomplete, but that's going to be a flag. Unfortunately for Cam Taylor-Britt, he was all over Freiermuth. Let me see if there's a tug. And yep. He hooked the arm. He hooked the arm. Outside of that, it's good coverage, but you can't hook the arm. I don't think Falcons fumbled away the playoffs, but yeah, missing that chance sucks. And I'll be sad if the Broncos don't make it. I feel for you, Emmanuel. Like I said, I think Falcons and Broncos fans can also kind of like you said, like y'all can feel the same because the future is a little bit bright with Bo Nix and Michael Penix. You know who, what can possibly come out of like these rookie seasons that has shown some flashes and also a lot of uncertainty as well. And Najee Harris just runs over. Who is that? Who did he ran over? Number 22 for the Bengals. And that's going to be a first down for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They desperately needed this drive. Like I said, this is a good drive for this Cincinnati Bengals, not Cincinnati Bengals, for the Pittsburgh Steelers to not only establish, it's Geno Stone. I forgot he's 22. I'm just getting used to some players' numbers when they change teams. 18-yard line going to be handoff to Najee Harris again off the right side, and he hurdles and gets up to about a 3-yard gain. Second down 7. 12:55 left go in the second quarter. What was I saying? Shoot. What was I saying? I lost my train of thought. Daggum. Steelers, Saints, Chargers were all very winnable games. Chiefs, Commies, Vikings were closer than I thought. Could have won, but makes sense we lost. Seahawks, Broncos shouldn't have been blowouts. Well, Seahawks was earlier in the year. I was talking about like when it looked like y'all were gonna run away with the division. Gonna be hand off to Najee Harris, who gets up to the 10, down to the 9-yard line. That's gonna be third down and 1. But I can't understand like some of the earlier games. But that's also when like Kurt's coming back from injury. You're still trying to work out the kinks. So like, I don't know. But I'm not of the belief that it's a fumble. It's more so, like I said, Bengals just actually, not Bengals, Buccaneers actually just finding a way to win this division once again. And I think they're going to give the first down. Russell Wilson with the QB sneak. As we first down 10 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. 11:40 left to go in the second quarter. We win one of those games. We have control of our season. On Sunday, Vikings score is misleading. It was 21-21, absolutely going to the fourth, and we collapsed. That's true. And then, like I said, the Chargers game was that was just a bad game for both teams, honestly. And it just happened the Chargers ended up winning that game. First and go from the 8-yard line. Russell Wilson under center with Najee Harris in the backfield. Going to be a handoff to Najee Harris, and there's a bunch of Bengals over there, and he's going to get maybe half a yard. But still be second and goal from about the 8. Because I'm trying to remember, there was another game too. Was like I said, the Chiefs? You probably should have won. I watched that game. I was at a friend's house. Steelers. I mean, you let them score 3 field goals and they won. Hand off to Najee Harris is going to get to about the 5-yard line. Oh, actually, no, it's 6. They didn't get all the way to 5. 6-yard line. Nice gain of 2 yards. Third and goal from the 6. And then, yeah, that's about it. Like I said, you had a tough schedule. It's unfortunate that you end up losing the division. But Michael Penix was good last week. Let's see if he continues that against a very bad defense in the Panthers. And you never know. And you might have been right, Emmanuel, all the time. They should have just started Michael Penix earlier in the season. Shotgun formation, a nice moon ball for Washington, and it is incomplete. The Pittsburgh Steelers are looking for flags, but that is not going to happen. Where's a flag? Oh, wait, that's a late flag. That's a real late flag. Pass interference on the defense. Okay, so... Okay, hold on a second. The ref that was right in front of him did not call a penalty. What? I guess maybe because he grabbed the arm, but like, let's see. Okay. Yeah. Okay. It's a little ticky-tacky, but also that's a late flag. I don't like the late flag that all of a sudden, like, now you get a first and 10 at the first and goal at the 1. Hand off to Najee, he basically walks in, 10-6. Um, Sorry, 9:54. Let's go to the second quarter. 10-6. Edgeport going to make it a 10-7 game. I, it must have been the back judge that threw the flag because, like I said, the side judge that was right there did like just went nothing. You think if the Bengals make the playoffs, Joe Burrow is in the MVP race? He has amazing numbers, but Lamar is putting up great numbers, and his team is winning. Um, I think kick is up and kick is good. It kind of aired off in there, so it is 10-7. I think Joe Burrow is still in technically the playoff, the MVP uh, conversation, but I like he's not gonna win it. It's a three-person race. It's Josh Allen, Saquon Barkley, and Lamar. Because ultimately, the people who vote for MVP are people who are going to be looking at headlines. Well, okay. Let me do a preface this. A lot, a lot of the people who do the votes are going to be journalists that they have a vote, but sometimes I'm not saying that they're lazy, but they're going to go after the teams that have the best record and the best player on the best team. Because that is some people's mindset. Is like the MVP should just be the best player on the best team. I think there's context. Obviously, there should be for each uh, MVP race. There should be context of like, okay, well, who does the person have surrounding them that's also benefiting them? Is would this player out for this team completely make the other team crumple? Like that should be taken into consideration. The fact of for instance, with Josh Allen and him coming into the season, people were saying that the Bills were going to be in a little bit of a retooling because they had a rookie wide receiver. People didn't know about Khalil Shakir, even though I was very high on Khalil Shakir. And I'm so glad I made that video about how I was like the Bills are going to be fine without Stephon Diggs. I still haven't got a comment from that guy that I had a conversation. There's a little thread. If you look back at their video, there's a little thread by the guy's like, I'm gonna come back to this video when the Bills are da da da. I'm like, all right, sure, dude. I haven't seen him yet, but I think that it's ultimately if Joe Burrow can find a way, and the Bengals can kind of get their crap together, and they make a little bit of a playoff run if they get in, then yeah, I think that he has a shot. But it's going to be a regular season. It's usually a regular season type of award. It's pretty much already decided that it's going to be between the three that I already mentioned. So unless something crazy happens, I don't see it going off of those three. Um, yeah, I think I answered that. But ooh, they're showing Cody Ford's ankle being twisted up. Yeah, that's a sudden kind of like turn there, and they probably have to put Amarius Mims in. All right, 9:54. Let's go in second quarter. Actually, Cody Ford's trying to warm up, so hopefully he's going to be back out there. And it's going to be returned at about the 5 yard line, the 10, 15, 20, 25, and cuts back in up to the 30, up to the 35, up to the 40, down to about the 44-yard line for the Cincinnati Bengals. 9:43 left to go in the second quarter. Goodness. But I will say this. Regarding your question, Emmanuel, the little add on before this for this next play. There are Pro Bowlers on bad teams. It's a little bit different because it's based on like voting, but I think that that's the reason why if the Bengals can make a run, if they make it in, and Joe Burrow continues to put up big numbers, maybe hand off to Herbert, and he's going to get about 4 yards there, but there is a flag. I believe it's going to be a legal formation because it was thrown early. Oh, it's offsides. Okay, offsides on. Is that on Travis Adams? No, it was Highsmith. Okay. Oh, he kind of jumped a little bit. Okay. That makes sense. All right, first down and 5. Goodness. 9:33 left to go in the second quarter. 10-7. Can I please see? Okay. Joe Burrow in a shotgun formation with Herbert to his right from the 49-yard line. Drops back to pass, and he's got time. Throws across middle, and it's popped up in the air, and is incomplete. Trying to get to Yoshivas, I believe, and it's be second down and 5. 9:15 left to go in the second quarter. Goodness. Yeah, a little bit behind him. Yeah. Yoshivas should have caught it, but it was a little bit behind him. Second down and 5 from the 49-yard line. Shotgun formation with Herbert to his right, bunch to the left. Now I'm going to motion Herbert out and going to help block on the inside. Going to send Yoshivas in motion. Joe Burrow drops back to pass and throws. It's going to be caught by Gesicki, who's going to get a first down up to the 45-yard line. Gesicki's having a pretty good game so far. I think it's 3 or maybe 4 catches. No, it's his 4th catch. 9 minutes left to go in the second quarter, still 10-7, and the Bengals are driving. I forgot Sutton was back on the Steelers. All right. First down 10 from the 46-yard line. Joe Burrow in a shotgun formation. Going to send Jamar Chase in motion. Motion back out to the right. Going to be a handoff to Herbert, who is going to get about 2. Second down and 8. They're showing Keanu Benton. I love Benton coming out. Benton was, I think he was number 2. I think he was number 2, the number 2 defense tackle, and I had ranked in that class. Was that 2 years ago? I feel like that's 2 years ago. 2 or 3 years ago. I think it's 2 years ago. Anyways, second down and 8 from the 44-yard line. Shotgun formation with Herbert to the right. Trips to the right. Herbert to the left, trips to the left, trips to the right. Goodness gracious. Hand off to Herbert for 2 yards. Going to be third down and 6. I completely messed myself up on that one. 7:50 left to go in the second quarter. I hate that I didn't check my league settings when I joined. If my championship ended last week, I would have won it. Instead of I have to worry about facing Derrick Henry, T. Higgins, and the Ravens D. Oh goodness. Oh, that's right. Because you told me last week that like it was a 2 week thing. I don't like I said I've been in leagues where it just ends at week 17 because most people are just like either resting their starters or like you might get put in a situation where like your good team that carried you is not the same team, and Herbert gets only gets 6 there. No, sorry, only gets 5 there. Be fourth down and 1 for the Bengals. I mean, I would go for it. It's like kind of like a no man's land anyway. So it's fourth and 1. About 7 minutes left to go in the second quarter. You're only up by 3. So even a long field goal is going to be hard for Cade York to make in this field condition. Well, weather condition, not really field condition. It's just really stinging cold and a little windy. All right, so fourth down and 1 from the 37-yard line. Joe Burrow in a shotgun formation. Draws back to pass. Quickly throws, and it was tipped at the line, and that's going to be a turnover on downs by the Cincinnati Bengals. Oh yeah, no, I answered that. Talking about fantasy. Yeah, like I said last week, I ended up coming up in second, which is not bad. Cam Hayward with the deflection. He was trying to go to Mike Gesicki. I mean, Mike Gesicki's been open pretty much the whole entire game, so that makes sense on that fourth and 1. 6:33 remaining in the second quarter. Going to go to commercial break. I am going to fill up on my Diet Mountain Dew. This is not a sponsor, obviously, because I'm too small to get a sponsor. But Diet Mountain Dew is not too bad. I mean, I'm kind of a Mountain Dew person, but Diet Mountain Dew ain't too bad. Perfect quality. Uh, plus Jaden Daniels. Oh, plus Jaden Daniels. So long story short, I'm down 50 points, and my glorious fantasy points getter Josh Allen is sitting. So I'm glad I picked up Sam Darnold early on the waivers. Yeah. Well, there's a shot like literally like I predict that the Lions Vikings game is going to go in the high 30s. Mainly because I feel like the Lions offense can match up really well with the Vikings defense, and it's been shown to do so the last game they played. Obviously, not having Dan Montgomery is going to hurt a little bit, but you feature more of Jameer Gibbs, gives you more explosiveness. So I'm like, and then also the way that the Lions defense has been playing, though Kirby Joseph's been playing well, Brian Branch been playing well, and there's still good pieces somewhat there. Just being like so injured, I think that's kind of like where I'm at with the Vikings being able to move the ball on the Lions. So I think it's going to be high 30s a game. So there's a chance that Sam Darnold could save your championship hopes. First down 10 from the 37-yard line. Under center is Russell Wilson with Tyler Warren in the backfield. Going to be a handoff Tyler Warren, who is going to try the right side, gets a block up to the 40, down to about the 42-yard line. Nice gain of 4 yards there. Signal 6. Still projected to win if none of my players bust. I'm projected to win by 11, so I hope that works out. Best of luck, exactly. I was surprised Zach Allen didn't make the Pro Bowl this year. I was surprised with that too. Like I get, hold on a second, handoff Tyler Warren, who's going to get up to about the 45-yard line. Nice game, about 3 yards there. It'll be third down and 2. Yeah, I was surprised too because I was like, all right. Oh, I could talk about that in a little bit. Is Pro Bowls because there were some definite snubs, which there always are. There always are some snubs, but this year in particular, there was a couple when I was like, third down 3, throw to is that man? Throw to Jefferson. Great job by Newton there, making a 4th and 3, 5:39 left to go second quarter. Yeah, because like I think Cameron Hayward had a great season, but like I would probably put Zach Allen. Well, it depends. Okay, where did they put him at? If they put Zach Allen at defensive, he's definitely defensive end and 3-4 that they run. I think that might be the reason why, even though technically, like I said, he'd be characterized as a defensive end. He technically has the stats, but he's also going up against a stacked AFC um, defensive end class. Like technically, even like Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter, both of them had amazing seasons, and they didn't make it in. And then Max Crosby made it in. Like Max Crosby, though he had a good season, also missed a couple of games, and that was like why, like why in the world did he make it in? And I'm not like I said, it's not trying to downplay Max Crosby. It's just like comparable seasons. I don't think that he should have made it in. Just saying. I'm just gonna look at the complete roster because there was another one too that stood out to me. Um, I said quarterbacks make it in: Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson. That makes total sense. Both of them absolutely balling out. Derrick Henry, Joe Mixon, Jonathan Taylor. Um, I I think for the most part that's good. I'm just gonna look, I'm checking and seeing as far as like stats wise. It's that's not everything, but there there was one. I think it was because I was looking up like the Pro Bowl snubs. Like obviously like Baker Mayfield not making it. I think that's mainly because like just like NFC like you got Jared Goff, you got uh uh Jane Daniels obviously. and then you had Sam Darnold. So I think that's fine. Like I said, I think Baker Mayfield obviously like it's like another great season, but because they only do three, it's unfortunate. And then I did see there were some people who were saying like Patrick Mahomes should have been in. I was like, no, no, just because like past has been good, but this season he's not been a Pro Bowler. But basically they were kind of talking about James Cook. That was the one I was thinking about. But I I would probably put James Cook over Jonathan Taylor. But I mean I think I'm still fine with Jonathan Taylor being over James Cook. But yeah. Um, talk about Kyron Williams from LA. He third in NFL rushing, yes, but at the same time, I'm fine with what they did with the NFC. Like I said, Josh Jacobs had an amazing season. Saquon Barkley, obviously, Jameer Gibbs. Like I said, Sheba Hubbard didn't make the Pro Bowl, but it makes sense. So, first down 10, got all day to throw, and Joe Burrow rolls up to his right and is going to dump it off and is going to get up to about 9 yard gain. However, there is a flag. So, that could be, is that defense holding or a hold on the offense? Because that was way too long. And an eligible man downfield. Wow. I was like, you cannot tell me Johnny Smith is a Pro Bowl snub. No. No. Okay, I want to. Cade Nelson, I could see that. Cade Nelson was really good. Baker Mayfield, Brian Thomas Jr., Pro Bowl snub. I don't know about that. Zach Allen, like I said, I think it's just because of him being a defensive end in the AFC. It was going to be really, really hard for him to make a Pro Bowl, but he still should be commemorated for his great season. Joe Burrow is going to check it down to Herbert, who's going to get up to about the 15-yard line, and that's going to be a gain of 4. So it'll be second down and 11, 4:50 remaining in the second quarter. Kirby Joseph, like I said, he should have made it in over Brian Branch, even though both of them has had an amazing season. Oh my gosh, Joby just like kicked Cody Ford right in the balls. I've had that happen before, and it sucks. Second and 11, like a cleat, no. Second and 11, sorry. From the 15-yard line, Joe Burrow in a shotgun formation, drops back to pass, and is going to check it down to Jamar Chase up to the 20, down to the 22-yard line. It's going to be third and manageable. And then, like I said, they're just saying Daniel Hunter. Daniel Hunter absolutely should have gotten in over Max Crosby. Like I said, I would say Daniel Hunter had a better season than Zach Allen, but like I said, it would be really rough for a lot of people to get in. And then based on they put outside linebacker in, so Khalil Mack made it in. Even though Khalil Mack is technically an outside linebacker in the 3-4 scheme, but yeah, probably could have been somebody else. I think it's just name recognition for some people for sure. And it's gonna be sacked at the 19-yard line. And is that who is that? 91 for the Steelers, making a fourth down and be third. Third. 3:22 remaining in the third or the second quarter. Oh, it's Preston Smith. I forgot. So he kept his number. I haven't seen that much from Preston Smith since he got traded to the Steelers. But great on him. Inside against Volson, just bull rushed and then swims and then right to Joe Burrow. So still 10-7, and with a punt about to go away, underway, going to be a great punt, returning to the 25-yard line, and he's going to get to the 30 and fumble. Oh my gosh! And the Cincinnati Bengals recovered. It just popped out right out of his hands. That's Calvin Austin. Oh my gosh! It's an obvious fumble. He's running and striding. It just I guess someone just like chopped at his hand, got directly on his hand. Let's see what happened here. Okay, bum, and then Hayward just pops it right on the wrist, and it just basically just I mean, just falls right into the laps of Gaither. Wow, that's great field position for the Cincinnati Bengals. Um, Someone needs to test 2024 for PDs. Last year playoffs and Super Bowl crazy. The offseason was insane. Draft was generational with like the first half of offensive players. Oh, you're talking about just being strange. Sorry, I was like with the I was confused, but no, I gotcha. Uh, 5 yard penalty for the Cincinnati Bengals. 2:44 second quarter. Well, actually, put 2 more seconds back on, so 2:46. But yeah, this 2024 season and then going into this playoffs is going to be absolutely. The NFC playoffs is going to be crazy. I talked about it last stream, but I am so ready for these playoffs. First and down and 15 from the 38-yard line. Joe Burrow in a shotgun formation. Um, Herbert to the right, trips left. Joe Burrow drops back to pass. Has got time. Going to run out of time. Rolls out to his left. Trail from behind and throws. And that's going to be caught by Yoshivas. Great catch. I mean, just contorts his body back in bounce. And it's going to be second down and about, I would say probably about 6. Plus, the 2024 season was so split. A 4-3 team will be the 5 seed in the NFC, and sorry, 4-5 win team will only be picking 9 and 10 in the draft. Yeah, that one was wild. Is the fact that like literally, if you won, you dropped like 8 spots. I don't know how like that's where my season predictions have just been kind of out of whack. Some of them have been close. Some of them have been really singing good. Like the Ravens were really singing good. Granted, I didn't think the Bengals were going to go off this year, so I technically did have to win the division. But as far as record wise, really singing good on them. Uh, as long as the Bucks win and the Falcons win, pretty singing good on their one as well. I mean, just flip them. I had the Falcons at 10-7. I had the Bucks at 9-8, but pretty singing close. Now, was I right with the Panthers? No, I had to go 7-10. Got a little bit of optimism, but I'm fine with us with the record that we have right now. Um, I was wrong with the Jets because I was thinking that their defense would be a lot better than it was, and it was not. And then Rodgers has just been abysmal. What's the other ones that I really bet on? I did commit to the Commanders, but I thought that they were a year away because I was really loving Jay Daniels, but I thought he was going to get hurt in the middle of the season. Technically, he did, but it didn't fall apart. Um, Bears, I was kind of wrong on because I was like, they would be kind of like I had them and the Jaguars in the same exact boat as kind of like being teams that would be like not necessarily bad enough to get a top pick, but not good enough to make the playoffs. I had both of them like 8 and 9. That didn't work out. Um, Seahawks, I was a little bit lower on. Cardinals, I was a little bit lower on, but those are my 3 wild cards. The Commanders, Seahawks, and Cardinals are my wild cards. That I was like, I don't know what to do with you yet, but I'm gonna buy low and be pleasantly surprised. I have to look back at it. Like obviously, like when the season's over, I'll end up doing like instead of combining that into my predictions video for the next year, I'll do like a recap of like how my predictions end up going. So, where is it at? Talk about that. 10 teams have 5 or less wins going into week 8, and 6 teams have 12 or more wins going into week 18. Is insane. Absolutely. Like I said, I don't think we'll ever see a season like this. And obviously, you can say that about other seasons in the past, but the fact that a 12-team playoff in the old way of doing things. Well, technically they're not 12 wins just yet, but more likely they're going to beat the Bears. But in the old way of doing the playoffs, a 12-win team would be left out of the playoffs. Can you imagine? Can you imagine in like 2017 a 12-win team not making the playoffs? From the 29-yard line, second down 6, shotgun formation. Drops back to pass. Joe Burrow quickly throws out, and that's going to be basically Clyde the line of scrimmage. That's going to be Sample, and be third down and 6 for the Bengals. Because like the fact that I kind of but the fact that the Packers would have only lost 5 times, but lost twice to each division opponent that are at a 14-win post. And then they lost to the second seed in the Eagles. But in the old playoffs, they would have been just like, oh, too bad. Sorry. Sucks for you. That would have been wild. So that's the reason why, like, as much as there are talks about, when the playoff expanded, or just like the seventh seed is not going to matter, they're always going to get blown out. And when it happened, granted, it could have very well been the case. But then last year, the Packers go into Dallas and absolutely obliterate them. This upcoming year for the seventh seed, they're going to go into Philly and they have a legit shot because they're a good team. A fumble and it's going to be recovered by Pitt. Oh no, sorry, Cody Ford recovered it. First thought it was recovery by the Steelers, but not JJ, which was JJ Watt, TJ Watt with the strip sack, but there is a flag. I think it's a holding though. Let's see here. I mean, TJ Watt on Cody Ford, that's not going to help anyway. Oh my gosh, holding on defense. Oh, Corey Trice. Corey. Oh, man, see. He definitely holds. He definitely holds on Jamar Chase. Corey. Oh man, first down 10 for the Cincinnati Bengals. Yeah, I would be booing too, but it's this is the correct call. Shotgun formation going to be handoffs to Khalil Herbert, who is going to kind of dance a little bit, but still, gets about 3 yards there. So it'll be second down 7. 145. Let's go in the second quarter. Oh man, like I said, he's a young player, but man, that's terrible timing. All right, second down 7. 128 remaining in the second quarter. Still 10-7. Joe Burrow and shotgun formation going to send Mike Gesicki in a motion over to the right. Drops back to pass, throws, and it's going to be caught by Jamar Chase. But I think that was going to be a false start on Orlando Brown, the left tackle. Yep. I'm getting a little stopped up. Yep. Orlando Brown. And yep. All right, second down 12. 111 left to go second quarter. Well, of course it would decline 10-second runoff. Okay, whatever. Anyways, 113, so they added 2 more seconds on. 113 left to go second quarter. Still 10-7. Steelers have 2 timeouts. Bengals have 3 timeouts. Second down and 12 from the 26-yard line. Shotgun formation for Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow drops by the pass, throws, and is picked off. Oh my gosh. How? How? Okay, so initially picked off by Patrick Queen. Then Jamar Chase tries to rip it out, possibly in the air, and then it gets picked up at number 31. How? 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 I gotta see that. I gotta see that again. I gotta see that again. I don't know how that happened. Okay, so Queen had it, and then just get plucked out of the air by Bishop. First down 10 for Cincinnati. We come back from the break. 1:08 left to go in the second quarter, and Pittsburgh has two timeouts. He's got a Pro Bowl in Chris Boswell. They could potentially tie going into halftime. That I don't know how the heck that happened. I've seen that Stu Virginia commercial a lot. They show it a very like a lot. And it's not a bad commercial. It just gets overplayed. That's one thing I heard a little bit, but I don't mind people playing the commercial a lot. But there gets to a point where it's like we get it. It's been a whole 18 weeks. We've seen the same as a commercial. We get it. It's still not worse than the I woke up feeling Jesus coach. I can't stand that commercial. I really can't because they've used it since 2018. I can't. I know some people like the commercial. I've heard people quote it a lot, but I just can't because I've just seen it so many times. I'm done with it. It's been 6 years. Get a different commercial. They're talking about the college football playoff, which I guess oh, I technically haven't talked about it yet. Obviously Notre Dame versus Penn State on Thursday, and then Friday is going to be Ohio State versus Texas. I'm excited for both those games. Like I said, top four teams going down, which some people were talking about like they shouldn't be the top four teams, which is fine. But I'm excited for these matchups. Obviously, Texas being the lone SEC team. Obviously, a lot of people are saying the SEC era is over. I'm not willing to say that just yet, but I did kind of feel like coming in that the SEC didn't show. What's the best way to put this? As an Auburn fan that is from the SEC, there is some hatred for other SEC teams when you're not winning, but there's also some realization of like popped up in the air and it's going to be almost picked off by Cincinnati Bengals. Second down 10. 1:06 left to go for second quarter. Um, sorry. There are some times where you can just kind of look back and see how other SEC teams are reacting to their situation and being like, y'all are stupid. A catch by Fryermuth, and he's going to get the first down out of bounds with 1:09 left to go second quarter. I'll probably talk about this a little bit more afterwards, so I can actually call this game. But there's a lot that I have to talk about with the college football playoff because I think that they did the best job they can. I tell you, we talked about that earlier. First down 10, Russell Wilson is going to roll out to his left, throw on the run, and going to be incomplete. Second down 10, 54 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Still 10-7. 54 seconds. Oh, they added, I think they added a second. No, it was 54 seconds. That's fine. Still two timeouts, so still, not necessarily a problem. But Steelers, you're only at the 28-yard line. So, they start hurrying up. Delay blitz, going to be a throw out to Fryermuth, who is going to get out of bounds once again. And he's going to get the first down. He's pretty close, if not. 49 seconds left to go second quarter, and they are going to, I think they're going to give him a first down. Okay, good. I think they're going to measure it, though. Yeah, they're measuring it to see if it's a first down. It could be 3rd and 1. Oh, he was short. No, he was short. So he is short of the first down to gain. So we'll be second or third? Second, right? Okay, that's okay. So it's 3rd and 1. Well, 3rd and inches. Do the Steelers running? No, they don't. They shouldn't run and burn a timeout. Nah. Like I said, you can easily pick it up with a. They actually might run it here. So they're showing that George Pickens had one target, one reception for 0 yards, and a QB sneak, and he is going to get the first down, and a timeout is called by Pittsburgh Steelers. So 47 seconds remain. One timeout remains for the Steelers. I'm like getting really stopped up. I don't know what that is. It's like right there. Goodness. Hmm. Well, I guess I can just do kind of quickly here now. Obviously, South Carolina, Bama losing, Ole Miss dominating, but also Duke didn't have a starting quarterback. All those teams said they should have been in, and obviously there's a lot of talk about the fact that you know the other teams that made it in got beaten, they got blown out. But if you don't even win your own bowl game, you can make all excuses in the world. It does not matter. The fact that you, um, the fact that you didn't show up when it mattered most to make a point. Oh, they didn't make the first down. Oh wow, that's gonna suck. Still a commercial though. I think I said even when it was announced that like the committee did the best they could because like I said it was a crazy year. There was no like clear cut number one team outside of Oregon, and then Oregon got boat raced. So I didn't say like they made a mistake. I just said that I was okay with it because of what they were trying to make a point of conference championships mattering. So, but I still don't think that SEC is dead like people were trying to say. That's kind of kind of out there. Like if Bama did not upset Georgia, would Georgia have done performed better against Michigan? Who knows? I don't know. The world will never know because it didn't happen. But people will still have hypotheticals like Georgia should have gotten a shot instead of Bama. Da, da, da. Anyways, there's a reason why they expanded the playoffs, gives people more opportunities, and I'm all for it. And you can't just say, well, our strict schedule was better because we're the SEC, we should get in. Like some bigger fans are playing or trying to put out there. If you lose to two six loss teams, I said that before. I repeated it once again, and it proved to be true. Bama didn't show up against Michigan, and they got beat. Yeah, so they are going to say the Steelers are short. So it is going to be fourth and inches for the Steelers. And like I said, the Pittsburgh Steelers did call the timeout. So they're only down to one timeout. So obviously you're going to be upset, but okay, Emmanuel, you answer it. I'll answer it after whatever happens right here because it might just be a punt and then we're done. I don't know what's happening though. What's happening? Oh, they're going for it. Okay. Yeah, I mean you can go for it, but if you don't get it, you're setting up Bengals with three timeouts on their own side of the field, only up by three. What are you taking forever for? Wait, why is it taking so long? You had a whole TV timeout. What? Okay, then why did you add another timeout to Pittsburgh? I don't know. I don't know what they just did there, but on the scoreboard, they literally took away a timeout from Cincinnati and added one from Pittsburgh. I don't know what is. I don't know. Whatever. 4th and 1 from the 39.5 yard line. Russell Winter in center, and it's going to be a handoff, and he is not. Ooh, he's. They're going to give him first down. They're going to give him first down. Okay, he was pretty close. He pretty stinging close. Let's see here. Hold up a second. Hold up a second. They gotta look at that because his if this shin was down, that's a turnover on downs. Cincinnati call timeout. Now they reverse the call. Okay, let's see here. Was he down? Oh, his butt's down. His butt's down. That's easy. Taylor Britt with a tackle, and now it's okay. I still don't get how you took away timeout. I guess like Cincinnati didn't want the 10-second runoff. That's fine. But then why does Pittsburgh have a timeout now? I don't understand what happened. But anyways, first down team to the 38-yard line for Cincinnati. That's huge. With 2 timeouts remaining. I don't know what's going on, but we're playing. Shotgun formation, trips to the left. Joe Burrow drops back a pass, throws across middle, and it's going to be caught by Jamar Chase up to the 31-yard line. 42, 41, 40 seconds left to go second quarter. Clock is ticking. 2 timeouts remaining for the Cincinnati Bengals. And looks like they could call one of their timeouts. I don't no, I don't hate that you call your timeout, but you have one now, and you have 40 seconds. You could have called. You could. No, well, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. All right. Okay. Every team with a bye week losing the conference football playoff was crazy. I hope Ohio State wins it. Texas would be too arrogant after winning. Exactly. I would love to see Michigan fans losing their minds seeing Ohio State win. Like I said, I don't really want Ohio State to win. I would prefer it if it was Penn State because they haven't won since the '80s, so that'd be kind of nice. And I'd be like James Franklin finally get like the monkey off of his back. It's gonna be a jump off to Sample, who is going to. Oh my gosh! God, he absolutely rock. Who was that? Was that Queen? Did he rock Queen? I think so. I mean, he just absolutely obliterated the linebacker. 30 seconds left to go, and this isn't it called their last time out? What? Why? Why? Oh, okay. Oh yeah, no, he absolutely it was Quinn that he obliterated. What? Why? Why though? Why are you calling your timeouts this early? If you have a sack, then that 31 seconds remain. I don't know what Zach Taylor's doing. First down 10. I mean, you can still score touchdowns. So it could be all mute point, but still. Goodness gracious. Shotgun formation for Joe Burrow. Going to have Herbert to the left from the 27-yard line. Drops back to pass. He's got time. Throws. And it's going to be, oh my gosh, great catch by T. Higgins over Joey Porter Jr. First and goal with 27 seconds remain. And he got out of bounds as well. I mean, Al's just snagged that one out of the air. Well, really and truly, that's just like out of reach for Joey Porter Jr. He had no shot. I mean, T. Higgins being like, what, 6'4", 6'5"? So, first and goal from the 9-yard line. Again, 0 timeouts. 27 seconds remain. Going to be some quick passes. If anything, it's going to be going to the end zone. Shotgun formation with Herbert to the left. Going to send Jamar Chase in motion over to the right. Bunch to the right. Drops back to pass. Joe Burrow steps in the pocket and checks it down, and it's going to be incomplete. 23 seconds remain. Second and goal from the 9. Where are we at again? Okay. Even Notre Dame or Penn State going to Natty is nasty work, true. Sad to see Georgia lose, since that just makes Bama fans fuel to say they should have gotten in. Nah, yeah. I should have known that Georgia would lose. Backup match, quarterback match just didn't work out. Okay. If any Bama fan is trying to trash a Georgia fan for losing, just point to Michigan. You lost to Michigan. You lost to a quarterback that didn't even throw for like maybe 100 yards. Second and goal, throws and bad at the line once again by Cameron Hayward, and that's gonna be third and goal from the 9. 19 seconds remain. Like you don't got any you don't got any way. As an Auburn fan, I don't have much to talk about either. We didn't make a bowl. It's fine. You know what? We laid in our bed. We lost 3 games we definitely should not have lost, and we ended up not going bowling. But that's fine. Like I said, I feel good about next season. But if Bama fans keep on saying stuff, there is so much you can point out. Because as much as they don't like Joe Milrow, it might not get better. Throws for the end zone, and right through the hands of Jamar Chase. That's Corey Trice on the coverage, and Jamar Chase had a shot of snagging that in the end zone, but goes right through his hands. It's like right off of his fingertips. I mean, like right. He should have had it though. So it's going to be a field goal attempt by to make it a 6 point game for Cade York. That's a weird looking mustache. I just like they're showing his picture. Dude, that's a weird looking mustache. Kick is up and kick is going to be good. So it is going to be 13-7, 16 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Um, but like I said, I'm good with either. I'm good with any team winning. I just don't really want Ohio State to win since they've won the closest, I guess. 2014. Texas, if they win, like I said, I would be upset because one, they would be arrogant, but two, they didn't win the SEC, so that's fine. I'm fine with that. Three, you know, I like Sark. I like Steve Sarkisian. Obviously, he's turned his life around, um, and kind of gone the right path, and I like what he's doing with Texas. But I just there are certain fan bases that, not to say they don't deserve to win, but you just don't really want to see them win. And it's not that you're trying to be a hater. It's just, which sometimes they think that you are. It's just they don't know how to take a win and kind of go with it. It's always like it's always us versus everybody else, and it's not always that you know. There's a lot of other nuances there. Why I might not like a certain player, I don't have it out for Texas. I don't have it out for Ohio State. But if you say anything bad about some of their players, you got it out for them. I don't understand that. A lot of some fan bases have it that way, but what was I talking about? I was right there, college football playoff. But I'm excited to see the matchups that's coming up. Obviously, it's gonna be kind of interesting too. Next week you got Thursday, Friday college football playoff semifinal games. Saturday, Sunday, Monday is gonna be playoff football as well for the NFL. Like I'm super duper excited for next week. Um, and then the next week, Martin Luther King weekend. You also got more football then. So 84 yards for the Pittsburgh Steelers so far. That's pretty abysmal. Russell Wilson drops back to pass, and he is going to get sacked at the 21-yard line. Well, that's okay. There you go. I think it's Joseph Asai with the sack, or it was him and Trey Henderson. Both of them got to him almost immediately, and that's going to be halftime. So it is 13-7. Cincinnati's up, and really that way they can control this game. I mean, I can look at it, but time possession is like probably, I don't want to say 20 more, but it's going to be close. Let's see. NFL. Come on, show me the team stats. No, it is almost 20. Yeah. So literally 1949 for the Cincinnati Bengals and 10-11 for the Steelers. That is crazy work in the first quarter. The fact that they have that much more time possession, but like I mean, they pretty much owned the first quarter, so it makes sense. But Steelers, like I said, they don't have as much to play for because they're either going to be the fifth or sixth seed, so you can either play the struggling Texans, which would be good, or you have a shot at going against your arch rival in the Ravens, which I don't know which Steelers would rather do because, like, obviously, it's more of a guarantee that you could probably beat the Texans. But if you have a shot of playing your arch rival in the playoffs when you split the season and you got a shot of knocking them out, why wouldn't you want to take that shot? I would. Now, technically, when we had that happen in 2017, when we got swept by the Saints, played them again, that was technically the first year of David Tepper about to be the owner. It was a season before he became the owner. Um, that was 2017 was also like I've talked about like after doing the Panthers video, like getting all the information. 2017 is a wild year. Then you have 2018 is also a wild year. Those two is literally the turning point of the upward trajectory that we have, and it starts crashing down. Those 2 years are so wild. So the last time we were really relevant, but um, in that 2017 season, we get swept 3 times by the Saints. We just couldn't beat them. We beat the Vikings. The Vikings, who were the what were they, the 2 seed, made it to the conference championship game. We played well against the Eagles. We just couldn't be the Saints. But because I think that was the Minneapolis Miracle year. Because 2017 was Minneapolis Miracle year. 2018 was the no call in New Orleans against Los Angeles. 2019 was that Kirk Cousins? No. Which was 2019 for the Saints? I can't remember. And then 2020 was Bucks. But yeah, like I said, eventually I'm gonna have to record everything that I've written down to like a little script for the Panthers video. It's gonna be rough because like just trying to go back through memory lane of like all the mistakes that we made. Oh, that's rough. All right, so at half, I'm gonna get a little drink. I don't know, like I said, I don't know what. I guess it's just because it's dropping down where I am at in the south. Um, the temperature is dropping. It's supposed to get into the 30s. I know, ooh, cold. To me, it's not really cold until it starts getting windy. If it's windy and it's below 40, then yeah, I get kind of cold. But I don't know why. I've lived in Alabama my whole entire life. I mean, I've visited other places. But for some odd reason, I don't get that cold comparative to most Southerners. But everybody and their mama is getting bread and milk because it is everybody's assuming that snow's gonna come in. I don't think it's gonna reach me. If it does, that would be kind of fun because I haven't seen snow since 2020 maybe or 2021. I'm a little bit further south than where a lot of snow might hit. When I say a lot of snow, I mean I might see snow every 4 to 8 years. And the reason why I say 48 years is because it's been since about 2020 to 2021 since the last snowfall where I'm at. Before then was technically 2017, 2018, my junior senior year of high school because that was a mess because they said it wouldn't stick. The snow started to stick, and then they had a rush to try to send everybody home. Basically, got the superintendent fired, plus other reasons. And then before then, we hadn't had a snow since like 2010. And I remember that year was because where we live close by this small golf course. Now, we didn't know that you're not supposed to go on a golf course, but because there's hills and it was a good bit of snow, we took a board and we were just basically going down like almost like makeshift sleds out of basically little knee boards that we had just sitting around, and then we got in trouble because they were like, "Hey, you're not supposed to be up there." And I'm like, I was 10, so I had no idea. I was like, "Oh, okay, well, sorry," but we just don't get snow a lot. So whenever there's anything really cold or a threat of snow, it's just pandemonium. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen this next week because I'm going to be at work and it's going to be a very very slow week. That's for sure because nobody wants to work outside. 19 miles per hour wind. Goodness gracious. 35 degrees. Like I said, right above freezing. But I know in certain altitudes a little bit different. Like I said, uh, where I'm at is basically close to the foothills of the Appalachian, mountains that come on down. You know, uh, but nowhere near as high as like some other elevations. So it's just like, yeah, that's pretty cool. I didn't get to see the Ravens Browns game. I just know that basically Derrick Henry kind of went off because I think it was his birthday too. Um, but do you really do you really expect that anything was really going to happen for the Ravens versus Browns? The Ravens are obviously going to win. Um, but yeah, I'm excited for football this upcoming week. I'm excited for weather this upcoming week. There's always just something weird that happens. But mm, I just hope that the roads don't freeze over. That's the only thing because the way that I go is like a lot of back roads, so I gotta worry about that. It was like 45 out today, and I made the mistake of going out with friends to a shopping area. Oh, there was maybe a 5 miles per hour wind, but I felt the cold in by the bones. Mm. I was just saying, like it really depends on where you are. Like I said, I usually just get by with like something like this. Like I had like this is like a flannel. I can just go by with this and be fine. But if the wind starts picking up a little bit, I'll get a little chill. I'll get a little chill. It's over 7,000 feet elevation. Wow. I I guess that makes sense from where you're from. I see where who I'm trying to think. What is the closest that I? That's not what I wanted to pick. Not NFL pickums. Put that back. Um, that's the closest thing that I have. That's gonna be close to 7,000 feet. Maybe not Gatlinburg. Gatlinburg ain't gonna be that high. I can check and see though. Gatlinburg elevation. What is your elevation? Not even close. Not even close. It's 1,000. Well, okay, hold on a second. Uh, let's see. Highest point of elevation. Yeah, highest point in Tennessee. Sure. Highest point in Tennessee is the highest point in Tennessee is I actually went through there. It's near Sevierville, so it is technically near Gatlinburg. The highest elevation is only 6,644 feet. That's crazy. I mean, that kind of makes sense though. Like Appalachian is cool, like it's a mountain range, but it's not the Rockies. That's that's a different kind of elevation for sure. I have technically driven through Denver. Back in 2019, me and my friends took a trip out west, and we just 10 days. Drove all the way out there, did hiking. We hiked the Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon, awesome, absolutely awesome. It is definitely a like, a hike for sure. Um, did California, and then we went up to Arches, and then kind of made our way back. And uh, I will say that trying to just basically go and like you can see yourself just climbing up the elevation. That was something different that I was not expecting, and also the wind coming off of the Rockies is also something I was not expecting, and just being like, hey, beware of tractor trailers. I don't know if you say tractor trailers or you say 18 wheelers. There's a difference there, um, but them just kind of like you just scared they're going to come on you, or they might even tip over because they're top heavy. That was different, but yeah, at that like elevation over there is just it's just so it's just so different for sure. Anything below 45 degrees is cold for me. I get lots of wind around here too. Luckily, there was minimal wind today, but still, people in the Midwest and mountains are built different, for sure, for sure. I think that like literally there's like little bitty tidbits here and there about each particular place about weather that you can be like, you gotta be strong to be able to deal with this. Like if you're in the South, the humidity is something different. I know that there's humidity everywhere, but the humidity is different absolutely in the South, especially if you're southern, um, southeast. If you're like uh, if you're Louisiana, Mississippi, below, I would still say Alabama in general, but like definitely once you start getting below Birmingham, closer to the Dothan area, like all that Tifton, Georgia, like all that just like is just muggy in the summer, and it might not hit like 110 like it does in Arizona, but it's feels like you're in a sauna, not an oven. And then like out west you also have like hot, you also have really really cold winters. Um, Midwest, you have very very cold, like blizzard like weather a lot of times, and you also have muggy summers as well. Northeast, you have a lot of problems as well. If you live up in the plains, you got tornadoes you got to worry about. It's like every single state, every single area has their own little thing about the weather that is just like it makes you tough. Like if you're California, technically you have earthquakes. I've never experienced an earthquake in my life, nor would I want to. I do not want the earth to shake underneath my feet. Not that I'm scared about it, but I would be unnerved. Not unnerved. That's not the word I'm looking for. I would be. I don't even know the best word to put it. I would just be perturbed. Maybe that's not even the right word. Anyways, I would not be comfortable with that because I don't know because I wouldn't be able to prepare for it. Other ones I can prepare for, can't prepare for that. That'd be the opening kickoff. Let me answer this last little bit. 7,000 feet is crazy to me. How did settlers hike all that with their lives in wagons and be like, "This is where I want to build my life"? It's just that manifest destiny, man. You just basically manifest destiny. You're just manifesting your destiny. I know, like sometimes it can be. I didn't know where I was going with that joke. I had an idea in my mind and it fell flat completely. I'm sorry. That was dumb. That was dumb. Touchback, we first down to the 30-yard line for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Down 13-7. I'm going to go back to this game. That was a really, really, really bad, not even really attempt of a joke because that was nowhere near a joke. Sorry about that. Um, Russell was under center. A three tight end set with Najee Harris in the backfield. Going to be a toss out to him off to the left, and he gets absolutely blown up. Well, not really blown up, but tackle for a loss, 4-yard loss. That's Jermaine Pratt making it second down to 14 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But yeah, 7,000 feet is kind of crazy. back, back to what you said, but disregarding what I was saying because I lost my train of thought in the middle of that joke, and then I was like, I don't know where to go from here. All right. Come on, Cincinnati. Give yourself a shot. So from the 26-yard line, Russell Wilson our center with Najee Harris in the backfield. Drop back to pass. Has got plenty of time. Checks down Najee Harris. Basically gets up to the 32. So, it gives about third down and 8. Uh, it is very pretty. That is true. Mountains, I'll give you that. Mountains is probably outside of like lakes, but also ocean. Ocean is really beautiful. But like just pure natural scenery, beautiful. Alaska, oh my gosh, Alaska is so beautiful as well with all the mountain ranges as well. Back to this game on third down and 8, but if mountains are amazing as well. Third down and 8, drops back to pass on a shotgun, throws a little moon ball, and it's dropped a little bit off the mark, but Calvin Austin still had a shot of it. Fourth down and 8, gonna have to punt this ball away. Manifest Destiny is a crazy line for a joke, lol. Yeah, I like the fact that that's just like what they just called it for a long time and not realizing like kind of not the irony in that statement, but the fact of just like, yeah, we'll just call it Manifest Destiny. We'll just teach that to kids. Return to the 20-yard line, up to the 30-yard line, down to the 36. Like when I'm gonna be teaching about Manifest Destiny, but like all the while I'm be thinking, I'm like, I can't necessarily go into exact detail about how exactly they're manifesting their destiny, but it's still a wild thing to think of. Just like a bunch of stories being like, what should we talk about? The reason why they moved. Well, they wanted the land, so they're like, God wants me to take this land because they don't want it, which obviously the native people wanted it. But we could do much better with it, so we're going to manifest that our destinies become a proud nation, and we're just going to take it. It doesn't matter if we sign treaties. Doesn't matter. I didn't sign a treaty. I'm going to go make my own way. Cause so being around my grandparents, watching old westerns, there are some westerns that are very, very good. But my word, are there a lot of westerns that I will watch with my grandparents, and I'm just looking at them like, okay, okay. And it's like, meh, meh. Like obviously, it's a white person dressed as a Native American person. Very, very wrong, but not wrong for the times. But still wrong in any kind of context. But that's another thing too with westerns. It's like the way that they speak, just like, oh, this sounds like a native person. But like some of it makes it seem, and there's a no, some of the westerns that I have watched over my many, well not my many years, many times watching westerns, I can see why a lot of the greatest generation, I don't like calling them the greatest generation, and boomers see the Native American population in a certain light because of the media that they took in. Basically, were like, oh, well, it wasn't the pioneers' fault. It was only the Native Americans' fault. They were the ones that were being aggressive, and I'm like, I didn't. Yeah. Anyways. Back to the game. Back to the game. I don't even know how did I even get on that? I don't know. Uh, First down 10 for Cincinnati. 13-24 left to go in the third quarter. Still up 13-7. It's only one scored game, but there's a shot for Cincinnati, who's pretty much dominated this game so far. Over 20 almost 20 minutes of time possession from the 36-yard line. Shotgun formation for Joe Burrow with Herbert to his left. And going to draw back to pass. Got plenty of time. Goes across the middle. It's going to be caught by T. Higgins up to the 49-yard line. First down 10 for Cincinnati. That is Joey Porter Jr. on the coverage. Ooh, excuse me. Under 13 minutes left to go in the third quarter. First down 10 for the 49. Corey Trice is on T. Higgins, but it doesn't matter. It's going to be handoff to Herbert, who is going to get up to about the 46. So nice gain, about 3 yards there. Second down and 7. goodness. All right, second down 7 from the 46-yard line. Joe Burrow in shotgun formation with Herbert. Now he's going to move Herbert in the middle to help pass protect. Going to send Yoshivasa in motion over to the right. Joe Burrow drops back to pass and get a little pressure, throws, and it's going to be caught by Gesicki. Gesicki's had an amazing game so far, all the way up to about the 38-yard line. First down 10 for the Cincinnati Bengals. How many catches does he have? Goodness gracious. Like, did they just like? I'm actually kind of I like the Hard Knocks this year and how it's been, but there's got to be like a clip or something of them just saying like, "Hey, Gesicki, you're gonna have 5 catches for 38 yards, and it's not even going to be 10 minutes into the third quarter because we're just going to target you." First down, 10 for 38, throws and it's going to be caught by Jamar Chase and is going to get up to about the 31-yard line. Nice gain of 7 yards. Second down and 3. Absolutely cooked them. There's some mountains about 15, 20 minutes from my house, and I went on a little hike, and OMG, the 2,000 feet difference in elevation hit different. You can feel it was like 9,000 feet. Goodness gracious. I can't even imagine that cutback. That, oh gosh. That's gonna be a long hike. Because, I mean, obviously they're going to take, like, just straight elevation, but, like, those cutbacks has got to be crazy work. Second down and 3, going to be hand off to Herbert, who's going to, he's going to be short. Oh, great push, actually. He was stopped short initially. Now he's, like, really, they're going to give him the first down after that second effort. First down and 10 from the 27-yard line. That's going to be Herbert. 13. 10:35 remaining in the third quarter. 13-7. That's what I meant to say. And the Bengals are driving. I've been hiking in a little bit. I just haven't had the time. But there's some nice hikes around where I am, just being like around the lake, so you can kind of like see the water as you're going. Obviously, nothing as strenuous as what it is out west, but still beautiful in its own right. Throw out to Jamar Chase, get up to the 20 and down to, I think they're going to have a first down. They're going to mark them just short. So it's going to be second and inches for the Bengals. But that's crazy. Going 12, not 12, 2,000 feet above sea level, more than you already are. That's, oh gosh. I do want to go back out west. That was a fun trip. Very, very fun trip. Then again, it didn't cost as much back then. So, hand off to Herbert. Easy gets the first down up to the 15, down to the 13-yard line. First down 10 for the Cincinnati Bengals. 9:30 remaining in the third quarter. I mean, just to give you context for how much that trip cost me. In 2019, for 4 people driving out there, it cost me about $230 for everything that we did, because we split everything, military discount, because one of the people that was part of our group, dad was a chaplain, and was like a Air Force chaplain, and we got to stay on an Air Force base because of that. So that was helpful. First down 10, throws out to Sample, who is going to get about 2 yards. Yeah, about 2 yards there. Second down 8. And also gas were cheap too. Like, in Alabama at that time was like 168 or something like that. California was like 334. That's to show you how gas prices were so low, even for California, it was really stinking low. But that was a fun trip. I would definitely take that again. But I definitely got to get in better shape. I was in much better shape back then, 5 years ago. Second down 8 from the 11-yard line. Shotgun formation for Joe Burrow with Herbert to the left, and going to send Gesicki over to the right to make a trip to the right. Drops back to pass. Joe Burrow is going to check it down to Herbert, who is going to stiff arm, and he's going to be about a yard or 2 short of the first down marker. It's going to be about third down, and I think I'll mark it third down and 3. I was in high school. First time I went to sea level, it was wild. That's kind of crazy. I've been pretty stinking close to sea level. I mean, tell me technically, being on the beach and that kind of stuff. But I've also been below sea level, like technically New Orleans. So third down 2, but third down and a long 2. Shotgun formation for Joe Burrow with Herbert to the left. Gonna send Yoshiwas in a motion over to the left, now motion back out right. Joe Burrow drops back to pass, is getting pressured by Hayward. Drops back, is going to get sacked at about the 19-yard line. And that's going to be, is that Nick Herbert? Oh, dude. Okay. A little tidbit about Nick Herbig. Um, uh-oh. 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 Joe Burrow's down. Joe Burrow's down. Oh, crap. Oh, crap. I'll talk about Nick Herbig in a little bit, but Joe Burrow's down. Oh, he got driven by Hayward and Herbig right into the field. Oh, and he got kneed in the back of the head too. All right, they're going to commercial break. I hope he's okay. Um, the tidbit that I was going to say about Nick Herbig. 2 years ago, the Panthers had a top 30 visit with Nick Herbig. In the third round, we traded back up and got DJ Johnson. We could have gotten Nick Herbig, but we got DJ Johnson. The fact that we took a top 30 visit with them and Nick Herbert has been as good as he is as a rotational player for the Pittsburgh Steelers, getting all that, like looking back at that one again, because I'm, like I said, collecting all the information, that was that was one of the other frustrating things. Seeing as much as I was okay on Nick Herbig. I wasn't like a huge fan of him, but the fact that he has worked out and we could have had him, and we even got him in the building, we didn't take him. That's a little bit disappointing, but yeah. Um, but yeah. Back to what we're talking about with the sea level. It is kind of interesting. Like, obviously, being able to go to different places in the United States if you have the money to. So if anyone has the money, if you can or if you're able to save up enough money, I suggest anyone to try to be able to travel, because America obviously is a vast and very very beautiful place depending on where you go. I think every single part of America has its own beauty about it. Uh, but the fact that you can have a place like super duper high like the Rockies, very different weather, and then just go down. You can go all the way down to California. Heck, you can go to Galveston, Texas. You can go to Gulf Shores, Alabama, or even um, like the Panhandle of Florida. Basically, the same kind of same thing with Gulf Shores, but just the differences as far as elevation, the differences of like diversity of plant life, diversity of animals, of all that stuff. That's another thing that's just wild about the United States. Obviously, you talk about the Memphis Destiny, like everything that bad happened there, but this amazing country that we are a part of has a vast culmination of species and just climates and all that kind of stuff. I think that's fascinating. Kick is up and it is good, so it'll be 16-7, 6:56 left to go in the third. I just realized, I thought about it for a little bit. I go back and forth on conversation a lot. I don't know. I don't know if people don't like it or not. So if you don't like it, let me know, because like I'm gonna try to stop doing it. But I would like go mid conversation on one thing and then immediately go back to calling the game. I need to get better about that. That just occurred to me. I'm like, some people are either like only listening to this so because they can't watch the game or whatnot, and I'm just I'm just going back and forth. I need to do a better job of that. Sorry about that. Goodness. Kickoffs back to ensue. 6:56 they're going third. I just find that hilarious. Now, 16-7. Goodness gracious. All right, Cade York on the boost ball away. Kick is up and it is. Kick is up and kick is good. Kick is away. and it is going to be in the end zone for a touchback. First down 10 from the 30-yard line. I love to see the east half of the country. The furthest east I've been is Dallas, which is a nightmare driving wise. Oh my gosh, I can only imagine. I haven't been in Dallas since 2012, and it was awful then. I can only imagine what it is now. Houston's another one I would not want to drive in. Like, I've experienced Atlanta more times than I want to, and it's bad, but it's nowhere near as bad as Houston. From what I've heard. So, but yeah, the East Coast and East side of America is beautiful. West Coast is beautiful. Run by Warren gets up to the 9 yard gain, second down to one from the 39-yard line. Like I said, if you're able to travel, I would. I have, like I said, I've been out west. I haven't been to Oregon or California, but I went to Alaska because I worked for 5 weeks as a camp counselor. Um, haven't been to like Wyoming or Montana. I haven't been to the Dakotas, like that area. I've only been to Ohio in the Midwest, and some people who are in the Midwest don't count Ohio as the Midwest, which is another thing too. Hand off to Najee Harris, who's going to get up to the 42-yard line. I keep on doing that. I just first down for the Steelers up to the 42-yard line. 6 minutes after going to the third quarter. I said, I'm gonna do a little bit better job of that, and just completely switched again back to it. Sorry about that. First down 10 for the Steelers. I'll finish up my thought, then I'll go back in there. But I haven't been up the East Coast past West Virginia and Virginia. I want to go up and see New York, Philadelphia, Washington D.C., whatnot. That would be nice. Back to the game. Only a 2-yard gain by Najee Harris. Be second down at 8. 5:27 left to go in the third. All right, so Joe Burrow looks to be okay. He's on the bench looking at his iPad. Well, sorry, Surface Pro. Don't mean to misspeak there. I never used a Surface tablet or anything like that, so I don't know the major difference. But I mean, you know, basically the same exact thing. I would assume. Two tight ends to the right, Russell Wilson in center with Najee Harris in the backfield. Going to be drop back to pass. Is getting a little bit of pressure. Is going to roll it to his left throw, and it's going to be nothing. Behind the benches of the Bengals offensive line. Third down at 8. 4:49 left to go in the third quarter. They're talking about Lou and Aruma, him trying to mix some things up with the defense. Like I said, I liked Lou Anarumo. I thought he would be able to do a lot better than he has this year. But I do think that the personnel has definitely not been there for him. Obviously, with being, no longer DJ Reader, like the defensive linemen have been, outside of Trey Henderson, been kind of like a sore spot. But okay, what? Ooh, would I get rid of Lou Anarumo? I don't think I would. I think I'll give him one more year with an improved, personnel, and then see what happens. Because the last couple of years has been pretty good for him. So, but I know there are some Bengals fans that I've heard that are done with Lou Anarumo because of this year, because it costs us this season. Okay. Third down 8 from the 44-yard line. Russell Wilson in shotgun formation with Warren to his right, trips to the left. Drops back to pass. And he's going to take a moon ball. And it's going to be to George Pickens up. Oh, he dropped it. Oh, he dropped it. Oh, you had it, George. Ivy with a breakup. 4th and 8. 4:43 left to go in the third quarter. Oh, you had it. It was good. It was nicely placed too. But I mean, had it right in your hands. Well, it's the second target, and he's only had one reception for 0 yards. So hopefully you don't have him in your championship. A nice punt Oh my gosh, great punt. And is rolls out of bounds at about the 4 yard line. Great job by the Steelers punter. First down 10 from the 4 yard line. 4:33 remaining in the third. Nature is something beautiful about this country. I've never been further west than the east part of Alabama, and I really want to visit some national parks in the west. Dude, like I said, that was an amazing trip that I took. If you were able to save up money and you have friends that are also able to save up money, you don't necessarily have to go all the way out there, but it is there's so many great trails if you're into hiking. There's so many great places to visit in America. It's the same as I think if you're going out of the country, but it's much cheaper to go stay in the country. Um, but I mean, heck, I mean, you're like you said, Emmanuel, you're in Georgia. Like Georgia has a lot of great national parks as well. A lot of great um, uh, trails. Heck, Northern Georgia is so beautiful. Northern Georgia, obviously, Emmanuel, when you get a little bit older, if you go to Blue Ridge, they have some great wine country there as well. Um, Helen, Georgia, great Oktoberfest if you like that kind of like. I'm not saying if you're in if you like Helen, Georgia, more of a Georgia Germanic kind of town, but beautiful scenery, a lot of beautiful waterfalls as well with these hikes. Technically, go up closer to Chattanooga in Tennessee. You have the point where you can see 7 different states, which is amazing view too. When it's not super duper misty. I've done it before on the trip that I took, the vacation that I had, we took North Carolina up to Asheville, and then we came back down to not Gatlinburg, sorry, to Chattanooga, and we were trying to do the lookout, but unfortunately it was very very misty, so we couldn't see, well, very very foggy, so we couldn't see everything. But that's an amazing view. Like Lookout Mountain's amazing view. Ruby Falls is amazing. Like there, you don't have to go way outside of even where you're from to see just amazing nature in America. That's what it's so wild because like obviously a lot of people just try to look at like the big picture of just like like I want to go to New York, I want to go to Los Angeles. And like they're fine, they're nice. Like there's a lot of history there, but there's also just something beautiful about some of the simplicity of certain places in America. Kind of sappy. Going back to the game, first down 10 from the 13-yard line after that penalty. Going to be a handoff, and that's going to get up to about the 20-yard line. Nice gain of 7 yards by Herbert. He's having a pretty decent game. Second down and 3 for the Bengals. We got some great state parks here in Georgia too. Absolutely. There's one in North Georgia called Tallulah. Like I said, Tallulah Falls. Yes, absolutely. That is stunning. I love to visit some more places in South Georgia since I live in Metro Atlanta. Okay, that makes sense. Like I said, oh well then, not too far in Auburn there is Chihuahua State Park. That's pretty good. And that's like about 2 hours or so. Hand off to Herbert, who's get up to about the 26-yard line. First down 10 for the Cincinnati Bengals. 3:47 left to go in the third quarter. See around Atlanta. Trying to think of other ones too. I gotta think about it for a little bit. But like Atlanta, you're also in an area that you can like hit in certain interstates and be able to get certain places a little bit quicker. Another handoff to Herbert, who is going to be met at the line of scrimmage, maybe make it like get about a yard, but be second down and 9 for the Cincinnati Bengals. But yeah, like great places all around America. Absolutely. I need to get back into hiking because, like I said, used to love doing it. Couldn't find the time to do it, and then obviously being a little bit bigger makes it a little bit harder. But I just love hiking because it's like a sense of accomplishment while also being like serene nature. Second down and 9, shotgun formation with Joe Burrow. Drops back to pass. And he's going to step in the pocket. Going to jump it off to Sample, who's going to get up to the 35, down to the 36-yard line. Third down and 1, 2:34 remaining in the third quarter. Still 16-7. And Cincinnati is really close to getting another first down and just continuing to drain on this clock, marching down the field, quick, easy passage, taking what the defenses take is giving them, and so far it's been working. So far it's been working this game. 3rd and 1 from the 36-yard line. Joe Burrow in a shotgun formation to send Mike Gesicki in a motion back out to the right with Khalil Herbert to his right. Going to be hands to Khalil Herbert, who's easily going to get the first down all the way down but the 39-yard line. First down, Cincinnati. I've been to Helen, Georgia. I love it. Oh, absolutely. Super fun. I love to go to Blue Ridge. Blue Ridge is amazing. Type of views. I went to Tennessee to a cave with an underwater cave too. Beautiful place. Oh, see, Tennessee. I know that I haven't been to one in Tennessee. I know in Kentucky there's Mammoth Cave that's kind of like that with like zip lines too, which is kind of cool. Tennessee, is that Ruby Falls? That might be Ruby Falls. It might not be. I don't know. Anyways, first down to the 39-yard line. Joe Burrow drops back to pass, throws to the right, and it's gonna be Jamar Chase. First down. I mean, that connection is absolutely amazing, but first down again for Cincinnati, and they're just driving to the field. 1:15 remaining in the third quarter, 16-7. If the Bengals score a touchdown here, I'm sorry, I can't believe, as bad as the Steelers' offense has been so far, that they're going to be able to get anything happening in this fourth quarter. 57 seconds remaining in the third quarter. First down 10 for the 46-yard line. Joe Burrow in a shotgun formation with Khalil Herbert to the right, Gesicki to the right. Going to be hands to Herbert, who is going to try the middle and spins and gets a couple more yards up to the 41-yard line. And that's going to be second and about 5, I believe. I meant underground lake, not underwater cave. Okay. I don't know which that one is. I'll be looking into. Like I said, there's a lot of places I haven't been to yet, or I might have been like when I was really really young, so like I don't really remember it. But yeah, like I said, there's a lot of stuff in the southeast for sure. As in, there's also a lot of stuff like for instance with Zoe, being in the West Coast, a lot of great stuff as well. Second down to 5, shotgun formation from the 41-yard line, and that's the end of the third quarter. All right, so when we come back, it'll be second down to 5, 16-7, obviously, and lost my train of thought again. And this Bengals are driving. Let me check and see that under. So you said Underground Lake in Tennessee. Lake in Tennessee. Oh, it's in Sweetwater. Hold up a second. The Lost Sea Adventure. Wait a second. Craighead Caverns. Okay. Sweetwater in Madisonville, Tennessee. The U.S. largest and the world's second largest non-subglacial underground lake, the Lost Sea. Interesting. Okay. I've seen. They're showing an image of like the CBS. I remember. Okay. I haven't been there before, but I remember seeing it on like the what's this called? It's like a show that CBS has. It was like someone on a kayak kind of showing like the different spots. Oh, dude, I can't remember what the name of it is. What does it say on there? It just says CBS this morning, but I'm pretty sure there's like a show that you're like, oh, it's cool little stuff. That's interesting. I kind of want to go to that now. That's kind of cool. That's really cool. That's also amazing what water can do to like just land is crazy too. Like I mean, you think about like what the Colorado River technically did to the Grand Canyon. Please, if the Bengals score a touchdown, just don't throw it to T. Higgins. I had to play him 3 weeks in a row. Please stop hurting my championship chances. Oh, they're showing the. I guess this is a new trailer for the Captain America movie. I, I'm probably not gonna watch it in the theaters. Like I said, I not that I have superhero fatigue. I just don't have the money to go to the movie theaters unless it's like something that I absolutely want to watch. And I'm not. I'm gonna wait a little bit before I potentially waste $30. Yes, $30 to go to the movies for one person. If you want to get popcorn and drink, it's going to be closer to $30. Yeah. But yeah, no, that sounds really cool. That sounds absolutely really cool. The underground lake. Now that's something that I kind of want to do. All right, from the 41-yard line, shotgun formation for Joe Burrow. Second down and 5. Herbert to the left. Draws back to pass. Getting blitz, throws, and it's going to be Jamar Chase toe taps, and that's going to be a catch. Oh my gosh. I mean, Corey tries on a coverage once again, and the first down at 10 for the Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, you can't stop it. You can't stop it. Toe, it's absolutely in. Absolutely Zen. First, first and 10 from the 22-yard line. Joe Burrow in a shotgun formation. Going to be a handoff to Khalil Herbert, who's going to try the middle field and get up to about the 20-yard line, and be gain about 2. So So second down and 8. And if I'm Cincinnati, I mean, it's not bad coverage until the last little bit, and then like I said, it's a nice back shoulder throw. I mean, that's so hard to defend. That is so hard to defend. Shotgun formation for Joe Burrow. Um, Khalil Herbert to his left. Going to send Jamar Chase in motion over to the left. 14 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. Still 16-7, and I think Cincinnati's going to call a timeout. I think you'll be fine. Um, if I'm Cincinnati, I'm probably not. I mean, you can still throw it, but I'm probably trying to make sure that this clock continues to roll, so that we don't have too much time for the Steelers to make an improbable comeback. So they're showing right now. Obviously, T. Higgins 9-11 on the season, 10 touchdowns, which is still amazing. I mean, him and then Jamar Chase is basically going to be a triple crown. So if anything, they're probably going to give us Jamar Chase. Because, like, literally, like, he can't be stopped right now. Second down and 8 from the 20-yard line. Joe Burrow in a shotgun formation with Khalil Herbert to his right. Ashley check that to his left. Draws back to pass. He's got time. Checks down to Herbert. And Herbert gets absolutely smacked for a 1-yard loss. And that is going to be, is that Bishop? No, it's Elliott, sorry. Elliott, number 25, with the stop. All right, third down 9 from the 21-yard line. Joe Burrow and a shotgun formation, 2 tight ends to each side of him. Because Amarius Mims has TJ Watt on him, is getting beat. Joe Burrow steps in the pocket, dumps it off. That's going to be a first down up to the 9-yard line, and that's going to be Sample. Wow. TJ Watt beat Amarius Mims off the edge. Joe Burrow had to step up in the pocket, and then Sample just finds a little bit. Wait, that wasn't Sample. That was 87. That was Hudson? Yes, it was. Like I said, great job by Joe Burrow there, evading the pressure, almost gets sacked, but instead it's going to be first and goal from the 10-yard line. Joe Burrow in a shotgun formation with Herbert to the right, the left, sorry. Hand out to Herbert, he's going to get about 2. Second and goal from the 8. Like I said, they're showing the stats right now. Well, they showed the stats the last play. 32 for 38, I believe, with like 200 something. Obviously, yards per attempt, not the best. But the way that the Bengals have just been playing has just been playing, dumping it off, basically taking what the defense has been giving them. And so far it's been working. So, obviously the stats doesn't look amazing. But regardless, you're winning by 9 right now. You have a shot of going up by 12, even potentially going up by 16, maybe even 17, because they'll probably go for 2 here. From the 8, Joe Burrow drops by the pass, is going to swing it out to Yoshivas, who is going to get down to the 2-yard. Oh, they're actually going to mark him at the 5. They're saying he stepped out at the 5, even though he landed at the 2. Okay, so third and goal from the 5. Let's see. And yeah, yep. His toe dragged at well, really about the 4.5, but yeah. So from the 5 yard line, third and goal. This has been an 82-yard drive, and Cincinnati is going to let this clock go down and then call another timeout. What? What? Why? Why on? It, I understand it's the fourth quarter, but why are you calling two timeouts right now with all? I don't understand that. I don't understand that because at the same time, um, you've got to you got 11 minutes left to go. Now, if you score a touchdown, then and you get 2 points, then it's a three-score game. You feel a little more confident, but you still want to keep some timeouts in case your defense need to get a rest. Or another thing too, like if you get in a bad situation, but now you're down to one timeout. Just I don't understand some of like the decisions making so far for the Cincinnati Bengals team. Third and goal from the 5 yard line. Shotgun formation from Joe Burrow with Khalil Herbert to his left. Drops back to pass. He's got time. Throws for the end zone and incomplete. Try to get to Gesicki. It's going to be fourth and goal from the 5. 11:06 remaining in the fourth. And Cincinnati has to kick a field goal to make it a 12-point game. Yeah, it's behind him. All right, 23-yard field goal to McKay York. And kick is up and kick is good. So it is 19-7. 11:02 remaining in the fourth. Zach Taylor saw what Eberflus and Morris did and made sure to do the opposite. I was kind of thinking the same thing. He was like, hey. I'm not going to even have an opportunity of using that timeout. That timeout's gone. Oh, man. Because like I said, like at the beginning of well, not at the beginning, at the end of the first half, it was just like, okay, it made sense why you use a timeout so you could save the 10-second runoff, whatever. Didn't understand why the Steelers got a timeout back, but what but and then using the timeouts early, I was still like, what does it even make sense? Like that's the only thing that I just don't. I'm still baffled by that. But yeah, you know what? It's your decision. You make it. It's only 9:30. Goodness gracious, this game's been going by quick. Usually it's about 10 o'clock if we're at the 11-minute mark, but probably getting done a little bit early. Hmm. I okay. I understand. I also like talking about Zach Taylor. I understand why a lot of Bengals fans are upset because with the talent that they have, they believe that we should be winning more games. That it comes on to coaching. That's the reason why, like, obviously, there's been many times that Zach Taylorson made some questionable decisions. People have said it's costing the team, and that's the reason why a lot of fans want a different head coach. A lot of them have been advocating for, like, hey, we could get Ben Johnson to come here. We've got the weapons. We got basically what he wants. We could get him and Zach Taylor, but that's just not what the Bengals do. So, like, unless it is an absolute train wreck, I don't think Zach Taylor is going to get fired. And considering how bad this season has been, you still have a shot to make the playoffs. He's not going to get fired. Like, you legit have to be stupid bad for him to get fired. It took him. It took Brown forever to fire Marvin Lewis when you had good teams, you made the playoffs, but you couldn't win in them. And he literally, like, Marvin Lewis coached for what, over 16 years? Like, when an owner has shown before that he's not going to make that move, I am not going to believe that he's just automatically going to switch just because you want him to. Zach Taylor is going to be the head coach for Cincinnati Bengals at least until they're totally, utterly trash. Return for the 25 to the 30, down to about the 35-yard line is Warren. So it'll be first down 10 for the 35, 10:56 remaining in the fourth. And since, like I said, Cincinnati's defense has been doing really, really well so far. Um, it's going to come down to if the Steelers can actually get something going because they haven't been able to. You're only down by 12, two possession game. If you can score here, preferably be a touchdown, you still have a shot. But I just haven't seen anything from the Steelers so far. It's been like they've just been like kind of limping into the playoffs. Russell Wilson drops for the pass, throws, caught to the 40-yard line. That's going to be Van Jefferson. It'll be second down and 5, 10:47 remaining in the fourth. All right, second down 5, shotgun formation Russell Wilson with Najee Harris to the right. Drops back to pass, throws to the right, and that's going to be caught. That's going to be first down, and that's going to be Van Jefferson once again. Up to about the 45-yard line. Russell Wilson shotgun formation with with Najee Harris to the left. Drops back to pass, throws to the right, and that's going to be incomplete. Try to get a Freiermuth. Second down 10. A little bit too far for Freiermuth. Goodness, that's abysmal. 7 for 15 for 61 yards. On second down 10, Russell Wilson throws and it's going to be caught. That's going to be Van Jefferson, 8-yard gain, third down and 2 from the 47-yard line. Newton with the tackle. 9:54 left to go in the fourth. Russell Wilson in shotgun formation. Najee Harris to the right. Freiermuth to the right. Russell Wilson drops for the pass, throws, and it's going to be Najee Harris gets the first down up to the 43-yard line. Oh, let me get up. 9:20 left to go in the fourth quarter. Russell Wilson in shotgun formation with Najee Harris to the left. Drops back to pass. Another check down to Najee Harris. Najee Harris makes a man miss up to the 40, up to the 35, up to the 31-yard line. First down 10 for the Steelers. Steelers are driving. 9 minutes left to go in the fourth. Only down by 12 with all 3 timeouts. Oh, Najee Harris is down on the ground. A little bit shaken up. That's not good. He's going to go to concussion protocol just to make sure he's okay. Like, see, he was kind of like writhing in pain a little bit. I mean, just shook Gaither off of him. Oh, his head got absolutely just slammed to the turf by Chris Jenkins. Not like intentionally, it's just Chris Jenkins bringing him down, putting that weight on him, and his head just hitting the ground pretty hard. I still find it interesting. They're still running Christmas ads. Well, it's the John Travolta Christmas Saturday Night Live, not Saturday Night Live, Saturday Night Fever ad. Like, I'm kind of surprised they're still doing Christmas commercials. Um, it makes me kind of think. Because I had the conversation with my friends today. When is the best time to take down a Christmas tree? Because I've done it. I've done all. I've done it like the night of Christmas because we were going on a trip. I like the day after Christmas. I've done it the day we come back from a Christmas. I just did that recently. And then we had done it as late as MLK weekend. Just did not have a time to take it down. So I was going to pose that to y'all. When do you think is the latest that you should take down a Christmas tree? Obviously, Christmas is over. It eventually it's gotta be taken down, but you put it back up, and it's all pretty. All the memories you got from all the ornaments and all that kind of stuff, and it's kind of not necessarily a chore to take it down, but does take time to take it down. Because I'm the reason why I'm asking is I don't have a particular time. Yeah, I said they're showing it right now where he got absolutely just lit up by Pratt, and that's possibility going to be targeting, and then Jenkins brings him down, and then oh gosh, they're showing it in slow motion, but Harris's head just bounces off of the ground. So they're not going to call targeting. So that's lucky for Jermaine Pratt because that was pretty close. First down 10 from the 31-yard line. Shotgun formation with trips to the right. Drops back to pass. Russell Wilson throws. Oh, man, Pickens. Pickens. That's the third time he's been targeted. It's an easy catch. You catch it, and then Taylor Brett does a good job of knocking it away, but his right hands, and then just pops out. That's 3 targets, 1 reception, 0 yards. Russell Wilson shotgun formation, drops back to pass, almost fumbles it. Oh my gosh! Sets up the pocket's gonna run up to the 25, up to the 20, slides at about the 19-yard line. Well, they're gonna say the 20-yard line, but it is a first down for the Pittsburgh Steelers. 8:28 remaining in the fourth. Christmas tree go down latest 1 month after New Year's. After that, just leave it up all year. I put mine away 2 days ago. That makes sense. Like I said, that's around that time. 19-yard line. Russell Wilson charged back to pass. Getting pressure, throws, and it's gonna be wide open. Is Fryermuth? How in the world was he that? How is he that? Oh god. How is he that wide? How was he that wide open? Goodness gracious. Touchdown for Pat Fryermuth. 19-13. Extra point going to make it 14. Would you go for 2? Let's see. Okay, wait. I would probably go for 2. Because if you go for 2, you make it. That's 15. If they kick a field goal, you're still only down by 7. So I would go for 2. I would go for extra point. It's fine. So now it is a 5-point game, 19-14. 8:07 left to go in the fourth quarter. And the Bengals have 1 timeout, and the Steelers have all 3. But yeah, like I said, this year I put, let's see, when did I put in my dad's Christmas tree? When we came back, so that was the 29th. So yeah, 29th, put in my dad's, and then when did I put up my mom's Christmas tree? It was recently, probably about the same exact time, but maybe three days ago was when I put up my mom's Christmas tree. Yeah, probably so. Take tree down sometime in the first half of January whenever you have time. Want to really? Yeah, like I said, that's what I feel like. I feel like MLK weekend you have for the most part. It depends on what your job is. You have that day off, so it gives you a 3-day weekend. That's where I'm like, you know what, that can be like, that's not that weird if you still have your Christmas tree up. Past that point, but because I haven't been over to a house that's been that Christmas tree up in February, but I've driven past houses that have like Christmas lights up past January, and I've never done Christmas lights. The closest thing we've done to Christmas lights is that we had a little spiral Christmas tree, of lights And then we also had we had that Christmas deer, and then we had like a snowflake, like for like the walkway to see where you're walking. But that was it. We didn't like there was a wreath on the door, but that was about it. We didn't do a lot of outside Christmas decorations because you didn't have the time. Uh, but I respect all the people that do because like sometimes the dedication that's put into that is immaculate for sure. Like I said, like going to see Christmas lights, that's very fun. But sometimes you're not even thinking about like all of the time and effort it took in putting it up and taking it down. Because I was just thinking about Christmas trees, but Christmas lights is another thing entirely. All right, 8:07 left to go in the fourth quarter. 19-14. Boswell to boot it away, and it is going to be returned at about the 3, up to the 10, up to the 15, up to the 20, up to the 25, and down at about the 27-yard line. First down 10 for Cincinnati. 8:01 remaining in the fourth. Oh shoot, my contact. I'll just switch my contacts because my right one just keeps on like almost like popping in out. I don't know if it's popping in and out of place. I don't know what's going on, but it'll just like every now and then I'll just be like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make you feel kind of weird. Just be like, whoop. I don't know what's going on over there. Anyways, back to the game from the 27-yard line. First down 10, bunch to the right. Gonna send 18. Is that what I think it is? Anyways, Joe Burrow drops back to pass. Has got time, rolls it to his right, and is gonna be batted once again by Cameron Hayward. That's his third. Is that his third or his fourth? Definitely his third, possibly his fourth blocked pass. All right, second down and 10. 7:56 left to go in the fourth. Joe Burrow in a shotgun formation with Herbert to his right. Draws back to pass. Is getting pressured. Steps up in the pocket. Is going to throw in the run. It's going to be caught, and that's going to be Gasecki once again. First down at the 41-yard line. Gasecki's having an amazing game. He's having an awesome game right now. First down 10 with the 41-yard line. Joe Burrow in a shotgun formation. Herbert to the left. Draws back to pass. And is going to check it down to Herbert, who's going to the fumble. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that one was bad. Luckily, it was recovered by Herbert. 7:15 left to go in the fourth. Uh, Peyton Wilson, forced that fumble, but like luckily Herbert was able to just pounce back on it. Goodness gracious! All right, so second down and 14. 6:53 left to go in the fourth. Joe Burrow in a shotgun formation with Herbert to his right. Drops back to pass. Throws out, and that's going to be incomplete. Try to get to Jamar Chase, but Joey Porter on the coverage knocks that ball away. Third and 14, 6:43 remaining in the fourth. I mean, like I said, it's right. It's right there for Jamar Chase, but just he couldn't come with it. Third and 14, shotgun formation for Joe Burrow. Now going to make the empty set. Got to get up to the 49-yard line of the Steelers. Drops back to pass. Joe Burrow throws, and it's going to be Gasecki's, but he's going to be short. Gets to the 45-yard line, but that's it. It's going to be fourth and 6. 6:30 remaining in the fourth. Down by 5. Steelers are going to take over. Okay, Steelers. I like what you did last drive. Initially, I was like, what's going on here? But you were able to put together a drive, able to score a touchdown, put yourself within a score. Can you do it on this next drive? Going to be returned at about the 8, down at the 10. First down 10 for the 10-yard line at 5:54 remaining in the fourth. Just a quick commercial break. Okay. Let me check and see as far as stats. Stats. Let's see here. Stats. Well, we get a little break. Joe Burrow is 36 for 45, 272 touchdown and interception. Khalil Herbert is 19 for 67. Jamar Chase 9 for 91 and a touchdown. And then Gesicki's 8 for 68. First down 10 for the 11-yard line. Russell Wilson's going to dump it. Well, it was going to dump it off to Warren, but it got tipped by Hendrickson. So, T. Higgins only has 4 receptions for 53 yards. It's not bad, but thought he would get more involved. Goodness, Russell Wilson, 11 for 20 for 104 and a touchdown. Basically 50% completion. Russell Wilson drops back to pass, throws, and it's going to be 2 Freiermuth down to about the 19-yard line, or 19.5-yard line. Third down and about 1.5. Yeah, just not all that good offense from the Steelers so far. But they're still able to come together with drives. 3rd and 1 from the 20-yard line. Russell Wilson drops back to pass to get pressure, rolls out of the pocket, throws on the run, and it's going to be incomplete. Looking for a flag, but is not going to get it on that fourth. It's going to be 4th and 1, 5:25 left to go in the fourth. Well, I don't. Okay, so. Okay, let's see here. Why would you not run there? It's 3rd and 1. Punt is away. Oh my gosh! It hit the guy. It hit the guy. And is it recovered in bounce? Was it recovered in bounce? If it was recovered in bounce, it's gonna be for. Oh my gosh! It recovered in bounce. Pittsburgh's gonna is your. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! You yelled Peter, and the guy didn't hear you. See, it hits the guy's foot. It hits Ivy's foot. Williams is calling Peter. It hits the guy's foot. And then let's see. Does it get recovered in bounce? Is that Hayward? It's recovered in bounce. Oh my gosh. Steelers are going to take over this ball. That's the easy spot of recovery. Wow. 5:14 left to go in the fourth quarter, and the Steelers are set up in good field position at about the 40-yard line. How it can turn on a dime. All right. Time of possession: 37 minutes of the Bengals to 17:35 for the Steelers. From the 38-yard line, Russell Wilson in shotgun formation drops back to pass, quickly throws, and it's right through the hands of George Pickens. What is, dude? Like I don't have him like he's my dynasty wide receiver, so it doesn't really matter. But like, dude, it's like it's right in your hands. It's a drop, 2nd down and 10. 5 targets, 1 reception, 0 yards still. Goodness gracious. Shotgun formation from the 38-yard line. Russell Wilson's got Patterson to his left. Throws to the right is going to be to Freiermuth, who is going to be a yard short of the first down, 3rd and 1. I mean, they're showing it again. Like I said, all it was that like one screen and that was it, and everything else has just been drops. It's been drops, dude. Like I don't know what's going on with George Pickens. All right, first down 10, 4:42 left to go in the fourth from the 28-yard line. So they didn't even get in the first down. Gonna be a toss out to Patterson, who is going to get maybe a yard. They're gonna give him a yard. So second down 9. I forget, is Patterson 32 or is he 33? Because he was an old rookie coming into the league, I believe. That was 2013, so 11 years. As we sack by Trey Hendrickson. Oh wow! I mean, he hit Russell Wilson pretty hard too. That's gonna be a sack of about like 6 yards. So that's gonna make it about third and 15. Dan Moore gets beaten, and then mwah, did he just knee him in the back of the? I think Trey Henderson just, yeah, Trey Henderson brought his right knee and just like took out uh Russell Wilson's knee as well. Third and 15 from the 33-yard line. Shotgun formation for Russell Wilson. Draws back to pass. Don't get sacked. Throws for the end zone, and it's going to be incomplete. Try to get to Mike Williams. That is great coverage. That Ivory? No. Oh, crap, there's a flag. Is that going to be a hold? Hold. Holding on Pittsburgh. And that is going to back him out of field goal range. To be third down and forever now. Let's see here. It was on Patterson. Yep. Oh my gosh, that's easy hold. All right, third and 25. 3:19 left to go in the fourth. You're down by 5, but you still have all 3 timeouts. So, get in the field goal range for Chris Boswell. Make it a 2-score game. You still got a shot. But right now, you're at the 43-yard line. Shotgun formation for Russell Wilson. Warren to the right. Drops back to pass. Quickly throws, and that's going to be to Fryermuth up to the 39-yard line. So it's still going to be a like 50-something yard field goal for Chris Boswell. Almost 3 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. Like I said, still all 3 timeouts. So you still have a shot. But right now, this is going to be it's a windy night, 54-yard field goal. Snap, hold, kick is up, and kick is it's gonna be good. And it is gonna be 19-17 with 2:39 remaining in the fourth quarter. All 3 timeouts by the Steelers. They can stop. There's still a chance. Now, granted, I did pick the Bengals to win, so I'd rather them win. But you never know. All right, so we're gonna go to commercial break. I still can't believe it's almost 37 minutes. Like that's literally as bad as what it was for the Buccaneers Panthers game. Like we did not crack. We're not going to commercial break. We did not crack 19 minutes for our game because we had so many 3-and-outs. So they're showing it again. Obviously, like I said, Bengals need a lot. They need a win. They need Denver to lose. Miami to loss or tie. Steelers, they get a 5th seed. They just win. And they're guaranteed to go against the Texans, which would be nice. Like I said, if I'm them, I would much rather go against the Texans than go against the Ravens. But it'll be something kind of special to be able to knock off your rival. Returns up to the 40, all the way up to the 44-yard line. That's going to be Williams. Great return. 2:29 remaining in the fourth. Now, the Steelers have been playing in the first half. They had been playing a lot of very very deep coverage against the Bengals, make sure nothing went over their heads. So far, they've been doing a better job as far as playing man on man. It's been working out for them. But I'm going to call it right now. There's a penalty to give the Bengals a first down. I'm calling it right now. The 44-yard line. Joe Burrow in a shotgun formation going to be hand off to Khalil Herbert, who's going to get up to about the 46-yard line. Second down 8, and a timeout by the Steelers. I don't know why. I just feel like there's going to be a flag that's going to give them a first down. Bengals defense is existing when it matters is all that takes for a close game, apparently. Wish I changed my game prediction in my Pick'em League. Oh, you picked the Steelers? Like I said, I don't know. I just really wanted like at least give the Bengals a shot. And then also give the Broncos even bigger reason of like, okay, hey, we got to make sure we do well. Dude, Bengals 321 yards to 177. It's at 177. That's crazy. Second down and 8. Shotgun formation for Joe Burrow. Bunch to the right. Going to do a screen to Jamar Chase, who is going to get up to the 50, down to about the 49-yard line. It's going to be third down and 3. 2:19 remaining in the fourth quarter. Second timeout by Cincinnati. No, sorry. Second timeout by the Steelers. They have one more remaining. I had the Steelers winning. Okay, gotcha. I think everyone might pick them. Oh, I don't know. I assume everyone might pick the Bengals to win. I'm not for sure. Showing it right now, that's the 10th reception for Jamar Chase, 96 total yards, 96 yards and a touchdown. And Terry Henderson had himself 2.5 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, and 4 QB hits. And like I said earlier, talked about Joe Burrow, very very low yards per attempt, but they just basically take what the defense gives them. That's why I'm not hating it because it's been successful. And right now, all you just need to do is win. It's not about style points, but going to be shotgun formation from the 49-yard line. It's got to get up to about the 46. Joe Burrow drops back to pass and is going to roll out to his right, and he's going to get sacked at the 40-yard line. Oh my gosh, that's Keanu Benton. 2:10 remaining in the fourth. It's going to go to the 2-minute warning. Steelers are going to have one timeout remaining after this 2-minute warning and the punt. Keanu Benton, number 95, is able to trip up Joe Burrow. That's his first sack of the year, and this comes in the final week. Oh, that's great. This one of those games that could go either way, absolutely. Like I said, and now it's in the Steelers' court. You're down by 2. You got a great kicker. You got one timeout, and you got a 2-minute drill. Make it happen. Make it happen. Secure your fifth seed. Kick your rival out of the playoffs, or fail. Still keep the 6th seed, but then you have a shot of giving your division rival everything that they need to be able to make it into the postseason. I had no idea who was going to win going into this. Like I said, it was going to go either way, and that's the reason why I was happy that this was prime time, and then obviously next prime time game, I'm very excited for both of those games because, like I said, they can go either way. I thought that there would be a lot more explosive plays for the Steelers, or not for Steelers, for the Bengals. But I think there's a strategy of just taking what they're giving us, not making too many mistakes, and it's been working. It's just unfortunate that they haven't been able to capitalize when it comes to they've been having to kick field goals, I mean, had to kick 4 field goals. Just saying, just saying. You had some opportunities because like there was a fourth and goal from the there's I know there's fourth and goal from the 5 was the last one. There's another one that was also a fourth and goal, but you have opportunities to pretty much put the game away, and you weren't able to. So now you have to hope that your defense comes through. Okay. 4th and 14. Punt is about to go underway. They play Don't Stop Believing by Journey. All right, Cincinnati gets it away. A little bit of Scraggler going to be returned at the 18, up to the 20, up to the 25, and down to the 25-yard line. 151 remaining in the fourth. One timeout by the Steelers. All right. Ashley from the 24th from the market. First down 10. Shotgun formation, Russell Wilson. Najee Harris is to his right. Draws back to pass. Has got time. Got plenty of time. Runs out of time. Throws, and it's going to be Najee Harris, but he loses 2 yards. Second down and 12. 141 remaining in the fourth. Davis Gaither with the tackle. Empty set for Russell Wilson. Drops back to pass. He's got time. He's going to check it down to Fryermuth, and he is going to be still in bounds. Basically, gets the yardage back. It'll be 121 left to go in the fourth quarter. Third down and 10. Goodness gracious. I mean, basically, like, all right. There's been 40 seconds gone by, and you haven't gained a single yard. Drops back to pass, Russell Wilson. Throws across the middle. It's be caught. Up to the 40, down to about the 42, 43-yard line, and that's going to be Fryermuth. First down 10, under a minute, 57, 56, 55. One time remaining. From the 42-yard line, Russell Wilson in shotgun formation. Najee Harris to his right. Drops back to pass. Rolls out to his right, and is going to run, and only get 4 yards. 38, 37, 36, 35, 34. What are you doing? 33, 32, 31. Clock is running. Second down and 6. Russell Wilson in shotgun formation with Najee Harris to his left. 25. Drops back to pass. Is getting pressure. Is going to get sacked at the 40, and you have to call a timeout. 20 seconds. Oh my gosh. You have gone 15 yards. You have gone 15 yards. And you only. How? You only gained 15 yards. You only gained 15 yards. And you gave up almost a minute 30. How do you do that? How do you do that bad of a 2-minute drill? How do you do it? How do you do that bad of a 2-minute drill? My word. And that's another sack by Trey Hendrickson. 16.5 sacks. Third down and 12 from the 40-yard line. Shotgun formation for Russell Wilson. Najee Harris to his right. I don't understand. Drops back to pass. Moonball. And oh my gosh, George Pickens. George Pickens. He lost it. He lost it. It wasn't a bad throw. Okay? Just look for the ball. Oh my gosh. 4th and 12, 15 seconds remain. I mean, heck, if you get a first down, you got to try to clock it. All right, shotgun formation. Got to get up to the 48-yard line of the Bengals. Cincinnati calls their last timeout. I, I yeah, you got to be frustrated because how, how do you only get 15 yards and a minute 30 has gone by? Like I'm not even going for you to win, but it still makes no sense. It makes no sense. 4th and 12. Russell Wilson in shotgun formation with Najee Harris to his right. Drops back a pass, throws, and it's incomplete. Fryermuth can't bring it in, and that's going to be the end of the game. 11 seconds remain. Bengals can kneel it out and win 19-17. I mean, it's right for Fryermuth. He just drops it. Just drops it. I mean, I 5-game winning streak by the Bengals. They win. Definitely helps up my video because that's the other reason why I postponed it because I was like, I'll do the playoff push and actually include the last week. But how how I am so utterly confused. I'm mainly confused by all the drops by George Pickens. Like that's ridiculous. Fryermuth, like he's had an amazing game. He dropped one in a crucial moment, absolutely dreadful, but still. But I like the fact that you also just a minute 30. You had a minute and 50 seconds, and you only gained 15 yards by letting a minute 30 go by. I I I I don't get it. Sup, Dobie? I'm dude. Oh, your nature's gotta be pissed. Absolutely pissed. I'm probably gonna watch his. I'm probably gonna watch like the last part of that. He's probably ranting right now, dude. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. The Steelers choked. They absolutely did. Like Chris Boswell has the leg to be able to win it for you. It's for you to clinch the 5th seed and get. I mean, heck, you get almost not necessarily a free win because I'm not gonna say there's a free win in the playoffs, but you're going against a very struggling Texans team. But I'm glad you lost because I picked the Bengals to win. But I don't understand. Bengals do the improbable, and now their season is in the hands of Chiefs and Jets. Exactly, dude. Dude, that's what I'm saying. I don't understand it. Like I get it. You know what? It sucks that Fryermuth dropped the ball, but he's had an amazing game. So I'm not gonna put that on him because it should not have come to that point. It should not have come down to a 4th and 12 with 15 seconds left on your own 40. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna watch these highlights. The way you're talking about is like it was a generational choke. It is like no, like literally just watch the 2 minute drill. Okay, you're at like 24, 25 yard line, 151 wine timeout. Okay, that's fine. You'll lose 2 yards because okay. I'm basically going to try to remember it from memory. You'll lose 2 yards, so you throw it to Najee Harris. He gets blown up for a 2 yard loss. Okay, clock is winding down. That's fine. Second down, 12. Okay. Throw it to Fryermuth. Fryermuth gets tackled inbounds, but he gets back to 2 yards, but basically almost actually 3 yards. So third down 9. Okay. Clock's running. Okay, that's fine. It's okay. Okay. Well, it's taking a little time. Taking a long time. Okay. Well, wow. Why is it taking so much time? All right. You convert the third and 10 or third and 9. Okay. Well, clock's still winding down. It's 50 seconds. Okay. It's winding down. Why is it taking so much time? Okay. 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 And then sack. You had another play, and I think it was a sack on the second down, and then now you have to call your last timeout. And it was on second down because it was third and fourth, and you because Russell Wilson, when it was the 50-second mark, instead of just throwing it away, decides to run it, but not immediately try to get out of bounds, but instead runs into a defender inbounds, and you gain 4 yards. You gain 4 yards, but you lose 20 seconds. You gain 4 yards, but you lose 20 seconds. Because then, like I said, the very next play is the sack, and then they have to call a timeout. But by that point, it is 20 seconds. It is third down and 12 at that point, and you're at the 40-yard line. You only gained 15 yards. Like I said, I'm happy that Cincinnati won. But how? How? They're going to show it again. They're like showing it right now. Third down 3. Keanu Benton gets his first sack of the year, 40-yard line, and it goes to the 2 minute warning. You have all the momentum on your side. All the momentum on your side. Showing now, second down 6 because it was a 4 yard run by Russell Wilson on first and 10, and then on this third and 12, I don't know if it's George Pickens' fault. I don't know if it's Russell Wilson's fault. But it's okayly placed for Russell Wilson, but then George Pickens kind of loses it. And then it's a drop by Pat Fryermuth. They would have had to rush to the line to try to spike it anyways, and it would have been a long field goal. There would have been no guarantees that he would have made it. But you would have had a chance. That's the problem. I don't know. I don't know. I went to Utree's stream. He is pissed. I would be too. I would be too. Oh my gosh. I oh gosh. Utree was pissed on Twitter, calling it a lost season with 7 minutes left. Russ picking the worst time to not be on point with him. Only on the Steelers for this season. Russ is going to be jobless. Russ might go to the Jets, Giants, or Raiders. True. Oh man, that Russ run reminds me so much of the Russ experience in the Broncos. Because he had against the Ravens. Like instead of sliding, he runs into a defender and it just pops as a turnover. Like that was stupid of him. But like you're a veteran. You're a veteran, and you know clock is of the utmost importance. If you don't get out of bounds, the clock is going to run. For you to run, that's fine to try to escape from pressure, but you can also just throw it away. You don't have to play hero ball. You're you aren't invincible anymore. You're not, you can say you're Chef Russ, you can say Mr. Unlimited, but you're 30 something years old. You can't just scramble out and just make these miraculous plays anymore. You've been decent this year, but you kind of faltered out closer to the end. But the lack of awareness is just baffling. Oh, Kentucky won today. I'm sorry, I'm seeing on the bottom line of the top 25 of men's college basketball. Auburn dominated. Sorry, I didn't think about that. But oh my gosh, how how I don't I'm not even invested in any of these teams. I'm not. I don't like. I could care less. But the fact that it happened, the fact that it happened, and I'm just like, you have, like, what's at stake? What's at stake? Oh, I don't know. Maybe I could knock out my division round from even having a chance at the playoffs. I get the fifth seed because I get to play against the Texans, who are faltering, and the Steelers have not won a playoff game since 2016 against the Ryan Tannehill Dolphins. That is the last time the Steelers won a playoff game. You have a shot of setting yourself up really well to finally have something positive instead of just futility. But no, how? I would have been fine if it was a missed kick. I would have been fine if it was like, crap, great play by Cincinnati, and they, picked it off and it was a contested catch. And great play by Trey Henderson by giving himself a sack, absolutely. But it's so much more about incompetence. So much more about incompetence on the Steelers side. Golly. Oh man. Oh man. No, yeah, and you were right, Zoe. It is the Russ experience. Was this time management on par with Matt Eberflus, Raheem Morris mismanagement? No, no, it was not because Eberflus's mismanagement was way worse. It was like I said, okay. To compare it, I can't even think of a way to compare it. I legitimately cannot think of a way to compare this situation. I just really, I literally cannot think of a time similar to this. Holy crap! I'm coming up blank. If y'all can think of something, let me know. But I I can't think of a time when a team had 150, a timeout, all I gotta do is kick a field goal, and they only get 15 yards and let up 100, like a minute 30. And it's not like it's necessarily sacks. Like there was one sack. No. But like I said, it wasn't Eberflus. Ryan, how's your sister going to take this loss? She's probably going to be. She's probably going to. She probably texted me already. I have my notifications off, but she's probably like, "What happened?" And I'm going to have to explain to her like, just dumb decision making. Like that's literally all I can say, because it's like you had every opportunity. You had every opportunity. I got both predictions right tonight, and I'm just as flabbergasted as you. And that's what I'm saying. Like I picked the Ravens to win because like obviously they were going to win. They even covered as well, which is they had what 20 and a half point. But uh, like I said, Steelers were already limping into the playoffs. They needed a win to right the ship going in. Now they're on a four-game lose streak, going against the Ravens, their arch rivals. that they previously lost to in their home stadium. After what looked to be a good season, almost going to be able to lock up the AFC North. They lost the AFC North. They have to go in to the Ravens' house and try to win, because otherwise, it's a lost season. I still feel good about what your future could be if you're finally able to get the quarterback situation under control, because you have talent. You do. You need more weapons, absolutely. I like Fryermuth. I like Najee Harris. I like Warren. I like the offensive line that you created, because legitimately, when you got Zach Frazier, when you got Mason McCormick, I loved Mason McCormick coming as a developmental guard, and then you also got um, not Fuaga, um, what's his face? You got Broderick Jones, but you also got, oh golly, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. It was Fuaga. Or no, Fatakasi. No, I can't remember off the top of my head, because I'm very frustrated right now, because I've never seen this. I'm frustrated for a team that I kind of not necessarily don't necessarily not care about. That's not correct English. Um, but I kind of care because for my sister. But how it's not all on Mike Tomlin, but that is a huge thing. It does come down to coaching when there's like a lapse in players knowing how to handle your system. But it also comes down to the players of knowing when you're veterans, knowing this is a do or die situation. If there's not a play to be made, it is okay to give up on it. It is not, cowardice. It is not showing weakness. It is being smart. Gaining 4 yards and losing 20 seconds, you don't have a timeout, is not wise football. I get it. And Zoe understands too, because you dealt with the Russ experience. But you had a shot. You had a legitimate shot to make your playoff race a little bit easier. And you decided to screw yourself over. Let's say that you did win. Let's take this away. Let's say you did win. You're the fifth seed going against the Texans. You can then go against the Texans, who are also struggling, go into their house, potentially get your first playoff win since 2016. Maybe you don't, but you have a better potential of beating the Texans than you do the Ravens. The Ravens have to go against the Chargers. That's a difficult matchup for them, because you know what? They beat them in the regular season, but they had to try to beat them again, and it'd be a very interesting matchup. And instead, you have to go against the Ravens. That completely, smacked you this past time. The score didn't necessarily show it, but as far as how that game went, they did. They got their revenge. They're the hotter team right now. You are not. And you're going to feel that wrath next weekend. Unless something miraculously happens, because obviously AFC North division, rivals, it's always weird whenever they play. But you're going to get embarrassed if this team right here shows up like they did. I don't even know why I'm getting so frustrated, but there's potential there, and you're not hitting it. You're not. Goodness gracious. Okay. Russ does love that hero ball, though, and that cost us several games when he was in Denver, absolutely. I think I finally get why Steelers fans are over Mike Tomlin. And that's the thing. I still think Mike Tomlin's a good head coach when it comes to how to deal with some players, how to deal with a lot of different personalities, and just make it work. He makes it work because he has the veterans in there to be able to keep that team together, like Cameron Hayward, like T.J. Watt. But I it, the 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 using the timeouts when you did, the going for it on 4th and 1, which is not necessarily a bad situation because you, like I said, you're the way that you said it was like, you know what, we're going all in, whatever, and you let up a field goal to end the first half. But I'll give it to Mike Tomlin. Some of it is simply execution because he's not in charge of the offense. The offense only got 177 yards, and heck, technically, your defense kept you in the game because they had to force the Bengals to 4 field goals. Because not only did they have the punt fumble, and technically you also had one yourself that helped you out a little bit, but you were able to hold them to a field goal, and you got a touchdown on that punt fumble that you recovered by Cameron Hayward. So there you go. Hey, that's good. That's good. You got a pick as well, a very miraculous pick by Bishop, another one that went your way. And so for some things, I'm not going to put on Mike Tomlin because I think overall they tried to limit a very explosive Bengals offense when you don't have Dante Jackson in and you only put Joey Porter on one person, which is fine. But the offense was so abysmal. You brought in Arthur Smith, that was your choice. And there have been times when Arthur Smith has done a decent job. But for the most part, you knew what you were getting yourself into when you hired Arthur Smith. And it's rearing its ugly head right here, right now. Golly. Mike Tomlin trying to win games when the Steelers are already above 500, dude. And the fact that I had them pick okay, I picked the Steelers, and the previous 2 years, I picked them 9-8, and then I picked them 10-7 last year, and then they that's what they did, and I was like, you know what, this is gonna be the year when they finally have a losing season. They didn't have a losing season, but the prediction still remains close enough that I was like, you know what, they're gonna lose majority of these games that back half of that difficult schedule. Now, obviously, the Browns were not as good as I thought they could possibly be. They still technically stole one, but you had a shot of winning more than just your 8, your 9, your 10 wins, but then you faltered over these past 4 weeks against legitimate opponents, and you can't deliver. When it's a good team, you couldn't deliver, and that's the frustrating part. That's the frustrating part. I think that's a part of why I'm so flabbergasted here because Tomlin is so competent for this. OMG, I forgot Arthur Smith was on the Steelers. I hope they get mollywopped by the Ravens. Oh, I'm sure you do, Emmanuel. I'm sure you do. I just this is gonna keep me up for a little bit because I like yeah I just oh man. First player in NFL history with 1,700 receiving yards and 17 touchdowns. That's what I said for Jamar Chase. Good on him. There. I'm looking at his highlights and I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for the 2 minute drill. I want them to show the whole. I want them to show the whole entire 2 minute drill. Like I said, they're showing it like you get the momentum right there. They're showing the Pat Fryermuth touchdown. It is 19-14. You get it going. You have to punt it away. 5:20 left to go. Oh, that sucks. Then guess what? You get a gift. You get a gift. Ivy unfortunately steps in the ball. You recover it, and then you're only able to get a field goal. But that's fine. That's fine. It is a 2 point game. 2-point game with all your timeouts, and then your defense has been playing really well, and they get a stop. So that's what they're about to show right now. Third down 3 from the 49-yard line. Keanu Bitten, this is his first sack of the year, all the way back to the 40-yard line, and sets you up really stinking good. You're coming out of the 2-minute warning. Yeah. So it was 109 from that point on. And then he runs, and it's at the 40 seconds. Clock continues to run, and then that's when the sack happens. Like I said, it's just so, y'all, it's so frustrating. Oh my goodness. Okay. Um, LOL Arthur Smith is why Tomlin is having so much bad time management. That makes more sense. Like I said, it's a combination of things. Like I said, it's definitely there's still. I am never one to put everything on a player or everything on a coach because there's always nuance. I hate when certain fans will be like, it is all player one's fault. We lost the game because the kicker didn't kick a last second field goal, and that's the only reason why we lost the game. No. It's a moment in time that he messed up, absolutely, but he is not the reason why you lost the game. There's several other decisions that made you lose that game. But in this case, it is a combination of time management, missed opportunities, so bad execution, and just even if you're Mike Tomlin, okay, you still want to keep that last time out. But if your veteran quarterback has not been playing well, because he was not playing well at all. Good. It was like 11 for 20 for like 100 something yards with Russell Wilson. Not playing well at all. Now, some of it had to do with bad execution because George Pickens could not catch a ball to save his life. He caught a screen pass for one reception for 0 yards. He had 5 drops. Now, granted, one of them was a little bit of a misread. I don't know if it was a bad pass by Russell Wilson, like he tried to get him outside, but George Pickens looked a little bit lost. So it could have been George Pickens was trying to track the ball, couldn't find it, and then kind of fell down, and that was that third down play. But other than that, the times that he targeted him, it hit him in the hands, and George Pickens not come down with it. And the fact that you could see on the sideline because they showed it, on the sidelines. George Pickens talking back to fans, and they're like trying to get him back in like the right mindset. You can't have that. I understand you if you're eccentric, all that kind of stuff, diva personality. A lot of people like to preface that as all encompassing. There's a whole lot of different ways to that. I'm not going to encompass all wide receiver ones as divas, even though some people will try to say that. You can still have whatever personality you want, but if you are not producing, you cannot be the kind of person that's also going to be almost cancerous in that way. Of you're talking about the fans because the fans are obviously upset with how you're playing, because you say you're one thing, but you're not coming close to it right now. You say you're a game changer, but you're not doing so. And obviously, you have a target on your back because of the kind of player that you are, because of the fact that you have a history. And I'm not trying to bring that up, but when people already have that image of you and you're not performing, and then while you're not performing, you're also setting a bad precedent by almost being a little bit of a distraction because other people are going to be like, hey, you got to lock in. You're a pro. You're supposed to be the number one guy, and you're not doing your job. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. True, it cannot be all on one person, but when the offense coordinator seems to falter, Mike Tomlin stick with them for way too long. I agree. Because, I mean, there was Canada for what, three? Oh, was that? Oh, my goodness. Was that 3 years? Was Canada for three? I gotta look that up if Canada was for 3 years. I know for sure 2 years. Because at the end of the second one, they thought they were going to fire him. and they didn't. I just put it in Canada. I need to put it in Matt Canada. Let's see here. Yep, 2021 and 2023. I forgot that he was the LSU offensive coordinator in 2017. That was the year before they got Joe Burrow, and that was, let's see, 2017 LSU was, oh my gosh, that was Denny Etling. Oh gosh, I remember 2017 Auburn. We lost in Death Valley. We were up like 23-7, and then Danny Etling in the second half with also a punt return for a touchdown. And I think DJ Chark was the wide receiver that ended up burning our defense. That led to them coming back and beating us. And that was one of our losses that year. Ugh. One of our two road season losses. I just had a flashback for that. That was, oh my gosh, a terrible memory. Terrible memory with Matt Canada. Think of a better duo. Um, because I don't remember who their offensive coordinator was before Matt Canada. Obviously, way back when they had Bruce Arians before he moved on to the Colts, and then eventually the Cardinals, and then also the Bucks. Um, I okay, all right. Steelers have had weird OCs these past few years. Absolutely, absolutely. Okay. I'm gonna try to think positive. I'm gonna try to think positive. Um, obviously the AFC North teams, they're done for the regular season. The Bengals playoff hopes are still alive. They have to hope and pray that Aaron Rodgers in his final game as a Jet, and who knows, maybe his final game of his career, can pull out an upset to not only worsen the Jets' draft stock, but also ruin the Dolphins' season. And they have to hope that Carson Wentz can put together an amazing game to be able to keep the Broncos out of the playoffs for the ninth straight year. Is it going to happen? I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen, but anything is possible. On the other side, you have two teams that are already in, Steelers and Ravens, both coming into the playoffs at very different ends of the spectrum. Steelers limping in. If you get in, anything can happen, but it's not looking good. The Ravens, their wild card opponent, coming in on a hot streak as a potential MVP candidate with also the second leading rusher, or the second leading rusher in the NFL, with an ascending defense as well. Can they make a run? They didn't last year. Well, they made it all the way to the AFC Championship game last year as the number one overall seed. Can they make a similar run this playoff? They're a third seed, a little bit of an underdog. Who knows? But anything can happen. Look at that. That's pitiful. 17 for 31, 148, a touchdown, season low, 4.8 yards per attempt. Now, granted, Joe Burrow did not have great yards per attempt. I'll bring it up. Because like I said, I brought up earlier that it was mainly just dinking and dunking, which is like I said, I'm never going to fault if that is the game plan. But Joe Burrow, 37 for 46, 277. So 37, 46. That is a little bit low. That's about what, 77 to 76%. See, uh, 7. No, sorry, other way around. I typed it in as a. I would in my calculator, not. I would type it up. 80%. So it is about 80%. Okay, so 80% completion, which is a lot better than, you know, 17 for 31. Because that's, just barely over 50%. Basically like 54% probably. And then, see, 227, 46. 227. Wait, is it 227 or 277? 277, sorry. 277 is a lot better than 227. 277, 6.02, which is, like I said, not the best, but is not 4.8. It's not being able to run the ball. Like, it's a bad run defense. Najee Harris, 12 for 36, 3 yards per attempt. Jalen Warren, 6 for 21, 3.5. Russell Wilson had himself 4 for 16 for 4. Like I said, that is where I'm like, I don't. Oh, man. I don't understand. I don't understand. That's fine. Okay. I think the Dolphins losing to the Jets in New Jersey is more likely than the Chiefs winning if they know they have the Bengals' fate in their hands. True. I do like there's like I said like the fact that maybe the Chiefs feel like they have a better shot of beating the Broncos if the Broncos somehow upset the Bengals, upset the Bills, then the Bengals being in and possibly upsetting the Bills because then that would be their opponent. Um, but also there's like a little sense of pride of just like you keeping out your division opponent from the playoffs because then that stings until next year because then you know that that's the team that knocked you out and there's nothing you can do about it until next year. So I think that's the reason why that's why I'm so flabbergasted by the Steelers is because you had a shot of being like, you know what, hey, guess what, Bengals, you want a shot, you ain't get it because I knocked you out like that. That's what I'm saying. Uh, Aaron Rodgers winning a game actively hurting the Jets for pride is a very Aaron Rodgers move. His ego's too big to tank. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. He needs one more touchdown to get 500. So obviously he's going to want that. Two, um, Tyler Huntley starting, Pro Bowler, Pro Bowler Tyler Huntley starting, um, against a Jets defense that has been suspect at best. But there is a shot that it can be an ugly game. Ugly game. And the Dolphins could legit lose. Like I said, there is a shot. There is an absolute shot for the Bengals to get in. But it's unlikely. Vikings bought up tons of tickets for tomorrow's games, and they gave them out to Vikings season ticket holders. Tomorrow's game will be interesting. Oh, for sure, for sure. Like I said, I'm super duper excited to stream that game. Sunday Night Football, final game of the regular season. Like I said, I'm expecting 37-34. I said 37-34. I'm picking the Vikings. Dude. I flipped back and forth each time. I was like, okay, I don't know who I was gonna go with. I was like I said, if either one wins, I'm gonna be happy for him. But I was just going back and forth, and the main reason why I picked the Vikings was because out of the times that I came up with pros and cons, I was like, story wise, I want the Vikings to win because hear me out. there's a possibility that the NFC playoffs could play out like this: Vikings 1, Eagles 2, Buccaneers 3, or Rams 3 and Bucks 4. They flip flop. Then you could have the Lions at 5, Commanders at 6, and Packers at 7. So the wild card will be Eagles, Packers. Eagles, obviously, Jalen Hurts coming off injury, coming back in. Packers, very dangerous team. You would have, I'm gonna say in this scenario, Rams win. They're 11-6, like I predicted. Them going against the Commanders, and then the Bucks going against the Lions. Say the Lions win. Say the Rams win against the Commanders. Very tough game. Say the Packers end up upsetting the Eagles. Like I said, very hard thing to do, but technically it's still possible because like I said, this NFC is gonna be crazy, absolutely crazy. And the divisional, you would have not only would you have almost like a flip from last year with the Lions, where like they had the Lions come to their place, and then they had the Buccaneers come to their place. Well, it's flipped now, and they had to go to the Bucks' place, and then now have to go to the to the Rams' house, and to try to make it back to the conference championship game. And then the Packers have to go up against the Vikings. So for the third time in a season where you've been swept by the Vikings, you got beat by the Eagles, but then you're able to beat them in the playoffs. Say the Packers are able to upset the Vikings. The number 1 overall seed gets upset by the 7th seed. Hasn't happened before yet. Say it happens. You beat them, and the Lions win against the Rams. A 5 and a 7th seed in the NFC playoffs, still possible. And so that meets the two storylines of the Packers getting revenge over those that had beaten them in the regular season, the Lions facing off against the teams that they had to face off against in the playoffs, and the storylines that go with that. And you face off against your old heated rival, the big dog for forever. For forever in the NFC North was the Packers for a very long time. You were the baby brother no one really cared about. And then you have already usurped him as the new kings of the North. Technically, you wouldn't have won in the scenario, but you're the new guy in town. It's a home conference championship game. Can you imagine what the tickets would be like? A home conference championship game against your old hated rival in the Packers to try to get to the Super Bowl. Amazing. Like I said, that is my ideal. Like obviously that's not gonna happen that way. But there are so many storylines if the Vikings win and the Lions have to be that great team to prove like, okay, we have our work cut out for us, but if we make it in, what an amazing story. Like, the Vikings would be the number 1 overall seed, and then they would have to prove, okay, everything that has happened for us, this is an amazing season. We can't choke this away. Like, so even if they do beat the Packers in that scenario where they did end up beating, if they end up beating the Eagles, they do end up beating the Packers, their very next opponent in that scenario would also beat the Lions. So like the NFC North, there's absolutely going to be an NFC North matchup in the divisional. I have full faith in that. If not NFC North in the divisional, it probably is going to be in the conference championship game. Like that's what I'm saying. That is why I'm like, I'm so ready for tomorrow night. I'm ready to see how the rest of the playoffs end up. Like I said, I'll be watching those games as I'm finishing up editing the Pinhouse video. I'm almost done editing it, and then I decided, you know what? I'm going to finish up this next week because I'll have. Sorry about that. Sorry about burping. I'll have the rest of the playoff push because I'll week 18, and I get to make sure that my storylines work out because right now they're working out pretty well. But I was very concerned that they weren't, and I was like, okay, it's still working, still working, still working. Um, and it's gonna like kind of run together going into the playoffs. So yeah. Okay, let's see here. NFC North, Vikings and Chiefs as the number one seeds is nasty work. Absolutely. And yeah, I guess I'm not gonna try. I'm not gonna try to tease too much about the video, but it would make a lot more sense if the Vikings get the number one overall seed. I, I'm I'm just saying. Alex, I'm not trying to give too much away, but it would be better narratively if that's the case. Anyways, this was a what's the best way to put it? This was a game of all time. This was a puzzling finish to the game, but an important game no less for these two teams going into the playoffs. Let's see if the Bengals can make it in. Let's see, Zoe, if your Broncos can make it in. It's going to come down to tomorrow. We'll see. I'll be back for Sunday night football, so be prepared for that. Like I said, I'm super duper excited for that game, but I am about to go to bed. I'm very tired, and also still very, very frustrated with how the game kind of ended up. But thanks so much for joining. As always, y'all are such a treat to stream with.